Yes, team. Big out to everyone in the building. I hope you guys are all blessed and well. So much to talk about, so little time. Dominik Szoboszlai has decided he wants to stay here, man, and fend away all the other big clubs that thought they could come and take one of our star dons. Also, as well, about the links with Barcola and Rayan or whatever you want to call this you, and Lacroix now I've seen as well. So let's see what happens, man. But first and foremost, how are you guys, man? Big up to everyone in the chat. Sav, I see you. Big up, bro. Christian is here as well, and Ahmed is here as well. Big up to you guys, man. It's bright and early. Where is it? On the 18th of, where is it? Where are we now? July? Yeah, July. 18th of July at 10:47 a.m. So early in the morning, man, decided I wanted to go and do a stream before I go head out and then go and do the whole family day out kind of thing, man. And Zionski, big up, bro. H, big up to you as well. OC, big up to you. Big up, big up, big up. Firstly, as well, want to thank you guys. The reaction videos I've done, or the little mini series that I'm going to continue to do. There's going to be loads. Appreciate you guys, you know what I mean, showing some love to those videos and getting interactive in the comment section as well. Yeah, but plenty more, man. So if you guys see any misconduct around any team, because you guys are going to probably watch a lot of the rivals and all of that stuff. So if you guys watch anyone and you go, yeah, Endz, I need you to send you this timestamp, I need you to, you know, react to this or give us your take on this you know, particular segment. So let me know, throw it in there. Also, guys, if you want to join the Discord, it's in the description. Obviously, you know, if you want to join it and know when the streams are going to be live, and then obviously be in a community where you can conversate until we stream again, especially if you want to continue to share your opinions and thoughts on our team that we support, that's in the description. And obviously, if you want to become a member of the channel as well, man, that's there as well. So big up for everyone that keeps showing that love. Big up Beans on Toast. What stream was I in the other day and I saw you in there? Can't remember. You said something, not wild, but you said certain jokes in one of the chat. I can't remember which one it is, though. Big up, Mickey, bro. I hope you've been blessed, man. Yeah, join. Honesty is always getting us up to date, man. We're up to date and locked in, man. Big up Dean as well in the building. Any seconds as well. Big up, man. Big up you all, man. Big up, big up, big up. But let's get into the conversation, man. So Dominik Szoboszlai has decided he wants to stay at Liverpool Football Club. Signed a new long-term deal, which I'm extremely ecstatic about because he's a player that I rate, and now I think he might be my favorite player. I was saying it the other day. I actually think he's going to be my favorite player going into the season. I think there's just so much about him. The quality of the play obviously stands out. Wanting to be a part of what this Iraola system or team is going to be like. He's going to be a massive part, in my opinion. And then the leadership qualities in there as well, because I see in the mini debates online of whether or not he's going to be the vice captain, because we still got to pick one of those. Gomez is obviously up there as well for vice captain, and maybe a few other players as well. But for me, I think he might be the future captain, man. I think not only because he wears the number 8 and obviously Gerrard and we continue the tradition or whatever. I just look at him as one of those players that once Virgil steps down, I look at him in the squad and go, yeah, that's the guy I think should be leading the club forward. I think he embodies everything we're about, the work rate, determination, just want to be the best as well. And I think he not only leads by example by what he does, but I think off the pitch as well, he looks like a cool guy in terms of the way he interacts with all the players. So I think he's heavily respected from what I've seen. I think he could be a future captain of Liverpool Football Club. But what's you guys' thoughts on him signing a new deal for one, and number two, in terms of him being a future captain, or maybe going into the season being the vice captain, and if Virgil leaves at the end of next season, maybe he hands it over to him. Is that something you guys see that could happen, or do you have your eye on someone else in the team? Mickey's saying, yeah, that Sobo guy's uh Sobo the right guy in my opinion. Iraola main man is Sobo. Obviously smash the like guys. You already know, man. Big up Civil as well. Josie, what are you saying there? Sobo will be the main part of Iraola process. Always rate him up there as the next guy with the leadership group. Yeah, because that's going to shift now, isn't it? Because I don't know if Kanate was in it. I know Robbo was in the leadership group. So you had Robbo and Salah's left as well. So Salah's left, Robbo's left. So that's two big gaps in the leadership group. So I think maybe add him to it. I'm trying to think whoever else in the team could be added to it. Maybe Gomez, but I don't know if he was already a part of it. To be fair, I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, now for me, it's a massive news for us to keep him as well. And I think it also comes at a time when obviously there's a bit of negativity, rightly so in moments, because I think obviously we as a club we know we need to sign players, and you're kind of hoping and waiting that we're getting some of these players across the line, missing out on the main target. So and because we're so used to, I say used to over the last couple of years that our main players keep leaving on a free as well. You kind of like was a little bit frustrated because his contract is kind of coming down. He's got 2 years left, and you're thinking there's no way we can lose Sobo. And obviously with clubs are going to be circulating around him, clubs are going to be thinking, yo, if he sees out this season, potentially, halfway through the next, we could get him on a free as well, and he's still going to be at a really good age. So yeah, it's good that the club was able to get this done, and it's good that he wants to stay as well. Do you know what I mean? I know we speak a lot about obviously these players sometimes don't really care about your football club like that. They come here, they obviously pay them well, they do their job, and if someone else pays them well, and there's a better, I don't know, environment, better project to go and do, they'll end up swapping out your club for them. But sometimes it's good when a player wants to stay at your club, and the way he spoke about it, saying it's a big family, and obviously this is the place he wants to be in terms of development and all of that stuff. And he spoke about he wants to win every trophy in England, including the Champions League as well. So I think it's just massive, man. I think it's massive that we're able to just get him on a long-term deal, keep him at the football club, and then hopefully that might trigger others to want to stay as well. There's other guys obviously spoken about, maybe McAllister. Madrid is kind of circulating him a little bit, and you've got Jones. We know that Inter and Nottingham Forest and whoever else. Even though Jones put the eyes in a comment section the other day when they said about it was on a post. I think it might have been a Twitter post or an Instagram post, and he put the eyes when they're like, "Oh, Jones has agreed to join Nottingham Forest." So maybe Sobo staying as triggered everyone else to kind of go, do you know, if he's going to stay, we might as well just hang around and see what Iraola can do. And obviously, from the training videos, and shout out to G, because he said he's going to blame me if it doesn't work out, in terms of, because I keep gassing up the training sessions. I think maybe, the players are looking at it going, look, we're back to doing what we was meant to be doing in the first place. And we feel like there's something here we can build on. And maybe he's just bought in straight away. And hopefully he can lead the next couple of players to buy into whatever Iraola is trying to do on the coaching staff. Big up Godwin as well. Big up Endz. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good, bro. Appreciate you, man. Big up Scottish Bear as well. Hope you're blessed as well. Beans and Toast, I'm glad Sobo's staying. Yeah, nah, same here, man. I'm glad he's staying, because we keep losing players, man, and it's irritating. I mean, losing Kanate was irritating enough for me. Especially when I thought, we need a centre back anyway. Ideally, you keep him, but now we've decided, okay, we're not going to pay him whatever, let him go, cool. But now we got to replace him, because I'm just looking at the team, and you've got Leone is not ready yet. Iraola saying Xhaka is ready. Obviously, we got to see, when Virgil comes back, what shape he's in when he comes back. Obviously, he's going to be fit and ready to go, but because like the other players in the team, they haven't been training properly all year. You know what I mean? Looking at these players, literally, half dying doing the fitness tests. You're just hoping that they all can come back at a decent fitness level. And obviously they're gonna have to massively get up to speed as quickly as possible to understand Iraola's tactics, get as fit as you possibly can as well. So, you know what I mean, we can start the season off well and obviously hit preseason in the right way. And I think Florian Wirtz is back on Monday from what I've seen going around on the social media. I think every player's having 2 to 3 weeks off, so he'll be back on Monday from what I've read. And I don't know if the other Dutch players will be back as well, so should be interesting. But yeah, let's hope for the best, man, that all of these guys can come back as fit as possible. But yeah, if Leone isn't ready, Jacque is ready. Gomez spoke highly as well, saying he just wants to have a really good season. And then you got Virgil to come back. So that's kind of your centre back, well, your 4 centre backs going into next season. And one isn't ready yet. So that's why I'd love to get another one in. So we're not, I don't know. It's not about, I'm not trying to block any of the youngsters' pathways, because I think there's some decent little centre backs there that we've bought as well. But I just think if we want to go and attack the season, we want to go and put ourselves in the best condition, in the best situation, so we can attack on all fronts, especially with the way that Iraola wants to play, the way he's spoken, how he wants to play. We have to see it first as well, don't we? He's spoken, he's used words. Now we need to see actions. So if he's about the intensity and we're going to have to press and we want a team that's uncomfortable to play against, then surely you're going to have to need a squad for that. And if we can get a squad together, then fantastic. And if we can't, then you're hoping and relying that everyone's going to stay fit and be able to kind of see the season out. But let's big up, Cav.
Morning, bro. You're right.
I'm all good, man. Just talking about boy Sobo staying and what it kind of means. Because I was saying, obviously, us losing key players over the last couple of seasons, we were just running down their contract, leaving on a free, or maybe a different project is more enticing than what we're trying to do at Liverpool. The fact of after a bad season, one of our top talents is gone. You know what? I want to stay, and I prefer to stay here for, not only my development, but it feels like home to him. So I'm just glad he's decided to sign a new long-term deal. And also I added that maybe it triggers other players to want to stay. In terms of like Curtis, he's been on the cusp of maybe going Inter. There's links with the Forest and maybe McAllister, Madrid Circle. Maybe he wants to sign a new deal. And then come to realize, obviously, Gravenberch signed a new deal last season, didn't he? So at least you've got those two for a long period of time. But I'm just happy that he's decided to stay at the football club.
Yeah. No, me too. It's nice to have some good news.
Yeah.
Because it's felt like we had last season, which was terrible. We've then had Hughes, we know that Hughes is leaving, now Edwards. We missed out on transfers. It does feel a little bit like we've had nothing but bad news quite regularly. So it's nice to now get something positive. And yeah, I'm dead pleased he's staying, because I think that from the minute he's joined us, he's always he's been a good player for us. He's always contributed in the different positions that he's played. Initially coming in the 10 position, we could talk much about what his limitations perhaps were in that position, and we maybe got a bit ahead of ourselves thinking we could improve on that by bringing Wirtz in. But whilst he was there, he was scoring goals. He was a great off the ball runner, and provided options for especially the likes of Salah to find them passes into the box or create space for him and things like that. He stepped up in moments, more so last season when we've needed goals, and he's contributed. When we've had to move him into positions like right back because we ain't got options there, he's done it. And I'd say done an admirable job as well. And he could have threw a shot last season and thought, well, why am I the guy that's getting picked to be shifted around everywhere? I just want to play in the midfield. That's what I'm, he said himself that what his preferred position is, and not once did he say it was right back. But he did a job. And last season, to a large extent, he did put the club on his back and carry us to that 4th place. He was the standout. And it's easy to say, he only looked good because everybody else was terrible. But I would like to just describe it as he just didn't down tools at all. He just worked every single game, you know, and he contributed. He was energy. He was aggressive. He shown care and passion for the club, and I just think that he's gone from strength to strength, and I think that he's going to continue to do that. I think he's such an important player to have in your team, someone that you know you can rely upon. Works hard, is aggressive, covers space, got a shot on him. So many things about his game, and I like the fact that, by his own admission, he's got an ego. You need egos. You need confident players. You know, you've got to channel it, of course, and you can't have too many of them. But I like the fact that we've got an aggressive box-to-box type midfielder that can give you a bit of everything, that has the ego, that when you come up in the Champions League against the likes of PSG and them top midfielders, that he thinks, no, I'm gonna take you on. You know, I'm not inferior to you guys. So, you know, I think it's great that he sees his future at Liverpool. You know, and like you say, hopefully for the people that are there now, but also players that we're perhaps talking to and thinking about joining Liverpool, they can look at that signing and going, okay, so the best players still want to be there, you know, and that must demonstrate to them that Liverpool, whilst having a bit of a down season last time round, you know, they are still on the up. They are still a club to go and win things. So, it's great that he's staying. And I just, hopefully we can just find him a position, leave him there and let him contribute. And I think for a lot of fans, I think we think that is perhaps in the 8 behind Wirtz. In maybe a double pivot, and let him be the engine of the team, you know, not necessarily channeling your sort of creation through. I'd like that to be Wirtz, but in terms of setting, you know, the tempo in terms of pressing and aggression and tackling and tracking runners and playing for a full 90 minutes and not having a minute off in that, and all those types of things, he can be a standard setter, and a large reason as to why I'd quite like him to be our next captain. To be honest with you, I want him to be our vice, and then take over from Virgil, just because of the way that he carries himself.
No, and I had the same thought as well. And I said he's grown on me to be my favorite player at Liverpool, and it stemmed from just watching what he said in the first day back at pre-season. Liked him anyway, but I was just like, this time I was like, nah, maybe he's a bit of me, innit? Is my type. The arrogance is there, but you know, we still have to work hard. It's not like it's just arrogance and he's just going to be walking around and it's all about me. No, he's willing to have the arrogance, but he's also willing to put a shift in and the work in. And like what you rightly said, he didn't down tools last season, and it's easy to say like, oh well, the other boys didn't play well, so he stood out. I just think he went up another level, and the other boys couldn't match what he was on, regardless of all the situation, what was going on around the football club. He was just like, oh, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna now just go, I've got an excuse to play bad. I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. But I've seen what, you know, Scottish Bear was saying in the chat as well, and you got obviously players like Jones might look at that and go, yeah, I want to stay. Iraola has spoken highly, like I want to keep him at the football club. And I think this season is about keeping players, but I can hear from, you know, some section of our fan base going, yeah, some of these players are not good enough to kind of be here, and we have to rotate some of these guys out and get some new ones in. But the difficult part is because we've seen better seasons from most of these players, but last season they didn't make an account of themselves. So you're hoping maybe it was just a one-off and hopefully Iraola can get the best out of them. Or is it that, do you know what? Maybe you guys aren't up to this level, and then maybe we should just get rid of you in the nicest way possible. Find a club, decent club, you can go and kick on your own career, and then we can go and get some other players that can fit the system and what Iraola wants to do. But I always look at Curtis Jones, Kevin, I go, he's kind of mixed bag, innit? Because some fans like him, some don't. Some thinks he's got the right attributes to be in Liverpool, and some don't think he does. And I was just, especially listening to the way the English pundits were speaking the other day about the World Cup. And it was more Souness when he was talking about Elliot Anderson and Rice and how they're so similar as players and they're very limited. And you need a player, you know, when we play against the top teams, you need someone that can control the game. And they were mentioning like Foden, and they were mentioning Palmer. And I was like, I don't look at them as players that can control a game. But I look at Curtis Jones as a player that can control the tempo of a game. And I was like, why isn't he mentioned? And I'm thinking, maybe that's what he's thinking, looking at that going, yeah, these guys don't rate me because I don't play enough. I don't play enough. And when I do play, yes, people speak a bit highly of me, but they don't really recognize my skill set. But when I was hearing that conversation, I was like, that's Curtis Jones. He can press, he can dictate the tempo, he can control what we're doing. He's got good passing range on him in terms of short and sharp. He can link plays, intricate in those tight spaces. He can dribble, he can get a shot off here or there, he can assist. And I was like, England was missing a player like him, but because he wasn't playing, he obviously wasn't going to get picked. And I'll circle it back round to the Sobo thing. And I think because Sobo is staying, the manager is now spoken highly about it. He might look at that and go, let me give it another year and see what I can do. Worst case scenario, I miss another year, but there's still time to go and make that Euro squad. There's still time to go and make that Nation League squad. If he does better, maybe bigger clubs come for him. And if that's the situation where he thinks, I want to go still, maybe that's what happened. But he's one I definitely don't want to lose.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I agree with what you're saying. His skill set is one that can be, stick him in the midfield. He'll receive the ball in lots of different areas, even under pressure. And he's confident on the ball. We obviously know he's great at retaining it. And he'll play his way out. And not a lot of players have that skill set. And the ones that are very good at that, i.e. Vitinhas and your Gomez's and stuff like that, they're now being spoken about so highly. Prior to that, it was your Cruz and Modric's. I mean, you go back and look at who you consider the best midfielders in the world over the past, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, whatever it is. It's usually these really technical, tactically astute players that are so comfortable on the ball. Curtis Jones is in that ilk. I'm not to say he's as good as them, but he's in that ilk. You look at him do it in moments and for a period of like 5-6 games and think, he can do it. He can do it. But the trouble he's got is he's not done it over the course of an entire season. So that's why, managers internationally are going to look at him and think, yeah, you can do it, but I need to see you do it more. And that it's just consistency, isn't it, with him? And we've spoken about that so much, and you can speak about it every year for the past 6 years. The conversation is always the same. If he can stay fit and he can do it regularly and maybe build his confidence a little bit, whereby he's doing it and knowing that's a positive thing for the team, that he continues to do it and everybody accepts his style of play, then he kind of elevates himself in the team and becomes a guaranteed starter. And then he's spoken about more, and then he elevates himself so much that he gets into the international tournament. But I always feel like when Curtis plays well for us, we're always, I think as Liverpool fans do this, we're always like, yeah, he's good, but it's like he was good at ball retention. He was good at keeping hold of it. He had good moments, but actually we want him to play it forward. Actually, we want the team to attack more. Actually, we want this. And sometimes I feel like, yeah, but that's on the rest of the players. He should be a player in this side for me that should play as an 8, receive the ball off the back 4 or the goalkeeper, and his job should be neat and tidy. And tidy, control it. If you calm under the press, actually encourage the opposition to press you, because it creates space for others, and be confident enough to take that touch, hold the defender off, play it simple, short 1-2 passing, maybe go by a player and then play it off to others. It's nothing wildly exciting, but it's effective in your team. We've seen the best teams now in Europe have them type of midfielders. The trouble is, I think for Curtis, is whilst he's been doing that, people are looking at it going, we're not creating because he's holding onto the ball for too long. It's like, well, yeah, kind of. But also, when he did release the ball, you need your more attacking players to go and make something happen. So I think we've never really gave him the patience as well to just be like, yeah, he is that type of player. Let him be that type of player. And if the team ain't creating chances because he's holding on to the ball, well, that might be 10% true, but the rest of the 90% is that what are the other players doing then? And that's where I'm just like, we should give him a little bit of patience and let him sort of cement himself in a position, and then let him utilize his skill sets. But like I say, he doesn't stay fit for long enough for us to warrant giving him that patience. And he's gone through it whilst he has played. Liverpool have gone through rocky periods and stuff. So it's just, sometimes you see this with footballers. They're so well skilled, but availability, timing, what club you're at, the other players that contribute. You know, we've got the likes of McAllister that can do a similar type job. We've got Szoboszlai that can do that and more. We've got Gravenberch that can play that role in a bit of a different way, but looks better on the eye. Sometimes it's unfortunate by what your actual competition is as well at the club. I just feel like if he was given a proper chance and he stayed fit, he could prove himself to be a starter in this team. And that's why I look at like the interlinks and I'm just like, I get that McTominay went to Napoli and it just like rejuvenated his career. I just don't see that with Curtis though. I don't know if Inter's a good move for him. I don't know if going Inter and playing well makes him thought of any higher or puts himself in the running to be in the England's next, you know, major competition. I don't know if that's the move. It's almost frustrating as a fan, isn't it, when you see players like that, because we watch him and know that he's technically so good and he's confident, got a bit of an ego. And then you're like, so why isn't he then like number one on the team sheet? You know, that's what he's, and it's not attitude. I don't think it's attitude. It's just, I think it's availability and circumstance, you know, and you know, sometimes you can just be at the right place at the wrong time a little bit, you know. But yeah, look, going back to it, I'd like for him to stay with the way that I think Iriola's going to play. We need squad depth. And I think if he's going to be pressing and playing higher up the pitch and give players confidence and tell players to take risks and all those types of things, I think someone like Curtis could probably flourish in that.
And I think that's why the manager is spoken so highly of him and wants to keep him, because I think he looks at his skill set and go, do you know what? He's very good at pressing as well. Like when Curtis is pressing, he does win the ball. He's clean with his dribbling. And yeah, look, there's times when he holds on to the ball. But like what you just said, the way the manager wants to play in terms of getting the ball forward as quickly as we possibly can and breaking those lines, he might, like, he wins it, turns into those half space, he gives it, and he doesn't have to hold on to it, waiting to slow the game down, because that's not the way Liverpool want to play now. On the Arne Slot, it made sense, and obviously it was frustrating, even though we're like, but that's what the information was from the gaffer. We want to control the game. Let's not give it away too easy. Let's make sure we have more possession. The other team, more possession for him was, okay, that means we'll score more goals, or we have more opportunity to score more goals. We have the ball more, they have less opportunity to create chances against us. But now you're going to be playing under a manager that's going, no, listen, we win it, we're going straight. Get those wide men in as early as you can. Give it to the 10 or striker. Get it to him. Let him hold it up. Set it, and we go out wide and let's go at the team. We don't need to hold the ball and allow them to go back into their shape. And like what I saw last season, we allowed the team to go back in their shape so much times in games, and I was like, this doesn't even make logical sense to me, because I'm like, half the team is decided that, oh damn, we've been caught so high up. And then I'm like, well, you're in a great position and we got the numbers. Let's just go at them. And if we lose it, we lose it. It is what it is, isn't it? But at least we're going with the right mindset. And then they'll just play a little 1-2 bounce pass and they'll wait. And I'll just see the other team just jog back into position. And I'm just like, that don't make sense to me. Like we had the numbers here, boys. Like why are we taking the risk? And I think having Iraola, you have the player, the way he wants to play is the way of taking risk. So I'm hoping then that means it translates to him and go, sharp, especially watching the training sessions about quick passes, punching it into players early, 1-2s, and opening the game up as quickly. And I'm like, he won't have time to hold on to the ball, because it will be about the next pass and the next pass, because that's the mindset they're going into next season with. So it'll be, I think his skill set will be massively useful.
I remember when we were talking about Florian Wirtz, when we just signed him, and talking about what he can bring to the team. And I think at the time I said, I'm really excited about the fact that he's coming in and he's going to be playing with the likes of Szoboszlai, Grav, Mac, and he's going to encourage them to play quicker. 1-2 football, shorter spaces, but raise the tempo in that passing, short, sharp, you know. And I was excited about the prospect of like other midfielders not being able to get close to us, because, you know, we've got in our 3 midfielders that we have now and had at the time, and include Curtis Jones in that, it was like they've all got great skill set. They're all comfortable on the ball. They can all pass. They've got pretty good range of passing as well between them. They have the ability to shield a defender, or they've got the ability to sort of let the ball roll across them, especially in Gravenberch, or they can go by a man and things like that. They've got the energy, they've got the work rate. If you can just stick Florian Wirtz in there and encourage them just to play quicker and take more risks with their passing and give that player the pass, even though he's in the 10 position surrounded by 3 or 4 players, trust him on the ball. You'll know this when you play with certain people. I found myself screaming it at my teammates all the time, even though I've got a defender, behind me. Still give me the ball. I don't care that he's there. Give me the ball. Because if I work my way out of that, suddenly we're opening up space, and it's having that trust in each other and being able to take the risks. And I hope that Florian Wirtz would give us that. It's not quite panned out that way, but I think that's now got to come from the manager. I think Iraola's now got to say to these midfielders, maybe even the defenders to a certain degree, but it's just like, try them risky passes. Trust your teammates. Trust that you can give them the ball when they're surrounded by other people, or the opposition. Give them the ball in areas where you trust them to control it or play it first time or do a skill to work out that area. You've got to be brave in that. And I think that if Iraola can encourage our team to be braver, then I think the likes of certainly Florian Wirtz will look better. But I think Curtis Jones is another one that would massively, his game would take a massive leap up because of that attitude and way of playing. The likes of Grav and Mac probably still look the same. They probably still, because Mac naturally, when he receives the ball, he always takes a touch. Unless he's in the 10 position on the edge of the box and he's already seen a pass, we've seen him see it play first time. But usually in midfield, he'll always sort of take a touch. Grav will always want to let the ball roll across him so he can then take the touch forward. I think naturally they'll always want to do that. But I think for the likes of Sobo, Curtis, Wirtz, if they're encouraged to be brave and play quicker and play forward, you'll see better versions of somebody like Curtis Jones, 100%. And that's why it's probably for me worth keeping hold of and give him that chance to go and demonstrate that under the new manager.
Let's hope he can, man. Real McCoy said Liverpool finishes 10th with rubbish Jones. What I'm going to do, I'm going to challenge you. Instead of just putting together those 6 words, I want you to actually put, you don't even have to send in a super chat. Just put, why do you think he's rubbish? Just throw that in the chat. Just a sentence. That's all I'm asking for. A sentence on the reason why, or reasons why you think Jones isn't good enough. That's all I'm just going to challenge you there. But I appreciate the super chat. Cav, I saw this. Lacroix. Don't know how much truth is behind it, but we can only bring the news and discuss the conversation and discuss the news and have the conversations. So we need a centre back. I've spoken that I think we definitely do. I don't know if I rate this guy like that, if I'm being honest, but I don't know because I paid mad attention to him. We played Palace so many times and they brushed us last season, but I can't remember him. I just remember Sarr scoring goals, or I remember Metzer just doing that. I'm just always thinking like, these attackers again. But I'm never really paying attention to like what the defensive unit looks like. I always think, maybe because we're just dull up front, the attacking line was kind of just dull, misfiring. It's like, if we was better, would these guys look as good kind of thing? So I weren't paying too much attention. So I'm just going to be honest. I don't know if he's that good. I've seen so many people speak so highly about him, but I don't know if because he's the next one up. That's the reason why. Obviously, he was good enough to be selected for France's national team. And obviously, the manager trusts him because when Saliba went down, he put him on instead of Konate. So that's a massive plus there. And if you wanted a confidence boost, that speaks levels and words ahead, right? But I don't know. We're linked with him. I think we need a centre back. If we got him, I would be grateful if we got him because I just think we need one anyway. Isn't he my first choice though? Nah, but beggars can't be choosers at this point, innit? He might come in and just be perfect in the system.
Yeah, he's a player that I've not spent too much time sort of thinking about, really. He kind of he must have good spells at Palace because his name then gets bandied around as like linked to other clubs, like no disrespect to Palace, but like bigger clubs. So he must go through good periods. Because he was at Wolfsburg, weren't he, previously? I think he was at Wolfsburg before he went to Palace, and he was quite well thought of there. But look, what's he good at? He's quick. He's quite aggressive. Steps in a lot. Pretty good, like one-on-one sort of defending. But he's also rash. I think he's picked up a few red cards, if I can remember rightly, at Palace. I think he's got that thing that Ebu used to have that sort of improved on, where he sort of steps in a bit too keen, and that's fine as long as you're playing alongside a centre-back partner that fields in behind. I think he's a good player. It's just I'm now looking at the defence and the players that we've got in them centre-back positions and thinking more so about partnerships. Obviously, like Virgil is going to be here at least for next season. You know, almost anybody complements next to Virgil, but when he does move on, you can't have like a Xhaka and a Lacroix would worry me, because I both think that there would be aggressors.
The manager said he's ready. The manager said he's ready though, didn't he? Saying that he thinks, he knows Xhaka is ready.
Yeah, but if we're pressing up the pitch and we're playing on the halfway line, having those two in terms of pace and recovery and things like that might be great. Both of them wanting to step in and press the midfielders. If we've got like fucking Kirkes and Frimpong at right back with zero existence defenders wise, it could be mad. I just think he plays next to Anderson, doesn't he? And we know Anderson from, where was he at before? Was he at Forest? I'm trying to remember where Anderson was. But
no, he was at Palace and then he moved to Fulham. He was at Palace and then moved to Fulham, didn't he, Anderson?
But he's a good passer of the ball and stuff. I don't know. I think he's a good defender. I just think you've got to get the right person alongside him for the way that he plays. And if we got him, I'd be all right with that. But I'm with you. He won't be my first choice, and it won't be the kind of profile that I'd be looking at either. But he is a good defender in his own right, So, yeah, I thought Chelsea? Because I thought it was up to Chelsea, wasn't it? That was the link.
Yeah, but
is that broken down?
I think it's down to anyone, isn't it? Look, obviously he's up for sale, so it's down to whoever decides to take the gamble, isn't it? But I'm looking here just to look at his profile a little bit more in depthly in terms of last season numbers. So he's 26 at the moment, so you've got a good age there. That's when we signed Virgil, to be fair. He scored a goal last season, got 2 assists in the Prem. And then just looking at the stats that kind of matter, I think passing, per 90 matters to me. So obviously there's going to be you're saying we need to take risks, the centre backs, right? So 88% was his passing accuracy last season. Accurate long ball, 49%. Do we need him to play loads of switches? Maybe, maybe not, but that's not bad, I guess. Successful crosses, 40%. Now, why? I don't know why he's up there doing crosses anyway. I hear it. Why are you up there? You know what I mean? Crossing the ball in, but I hear it. Looking at the progression stats, it says here successful dribbles, 63%. So he gets past the players. His duels is 61.3%. So that's great. Aerial duels, 61.3 as well. That's big numbers, I can't lie, Per 90 defensive contributions, 10.9, tackles, 1.7, interceptions, 1.3, from a standout, 2.7 in terms of recoveries. And it says fouls committed as well. So that's what you talk about, pressing, stepping in, and those rash ones where you're giving away silly fouls. But it says here per 90, 0.06. So,
yeah. And it might not be as bad as it seems. Yeah.
And what else? Goals conceded while on the pitch, 1.3. And goals against while off the pitch, 0.2. So I don't know. I think it's fine. I think these numbers doesn't scream like, oh my days, this is a train wreck waiting to happen. I think solid in the air, good in the 1v1s, quick defender, he can pass clearly. And that's what you kind of need, right? Tackler, wins the ball in the air, quick, can pass the ball. Obviously, read the game. I don't think you can have that down at a metric. You just have to kind of watch the games and see how well he reads the game. But yeah. I think he'll be. I think from that it looks like a decent signing. Not my first, but I think he could definitely add to the squad that we have at the moment. So it'd be what? Yeah. Virgil Lacroix, if we sign him, Leone Gomez, and Xhaka.
Yeah, and I think you'd be all right with that. I mean, like I said, I think he's a good defender, and those sort of pros to him are great things to have. Pace, obviously, you want that, especially if you're going to be a team that's pushing high up. Having recovery pace is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Being aggressive, yeah, of course, we need that again, especially if we're pressing up the pitch and winning the ball back, not in your own 18, not on the edge of the 18. No, somewhere close to the halfway line. Having players that do want to step in and take the ball. Soon as whilst we're attacking, as soon as we lose the ball and the opposition try to break forward, having an aggressor in there that breaks up play and steps forward and can win duels cleanly, that's a great thing to have. So, and look, he's 20. You say he's 26. He's
26.
He's now at a point where he's perhaps going to mature more as a footballer. He's obviously well experienced at this point, but if he was to join Liverpool, he'd be playing, 2-3 times a week. I know his availability is pretty good at the minute, but he's going to come under different kinds of pressure playing for Liverpool. He's going to be in the Champions League. He's going to come up against much more intelligent forwards and things like that. So he'll need to sort of develop his game to sort of be successful in that. But is it the age where you'd think that that's his next sort of step, that's his evolution, and if he can get that and he can get that bit more composure in his game, if he can join and play with the likes of Virgil and learn from the likes of Virgil, then yeah, look, who's to say he can't be a great defender for us? Like I said, my only reluctance with a player like him is just I'm thinking about life after Virgil, and I look at the defenders we're left with, and I'm like, which one of them looks like he's the leader at the back? Which one is the one that looks like he's got the cool head, calm, can even in the highest pressure moments still have his wits about him, still orchestrate that defense, order people around. If we're going to push high up the pitch and hold a high line, who's the guy that's stepping up and telling everybody to get up with him and hold that line and set it and stuff? That's where I'm just like, I don't want. There can be great defenders in their own right. You can be a brilliant, defender in yourself, but I think you need one of your centre backs to have more leadership sort of skills, more orchestrator type skills. And I'm just not. Leone and Xhaka are young players. Lacroix now coming. If he was to come in, he'd be the 26-year-old. He'd be the older head. He'd be the one that you'd kind of need to be the guy that kind of cements himself as one of the centre back positions, and then he orchestrates things. Obviously not next season because Virgil will be here, but Virgil might not be here beyond that. So now's the summer if you're going to sign a centre back to get somebody that you think can replace Virgil. And that is largely down to skill set, but also them leadership things. So I don't know if he's got that. Maybe he'll come to get it.
But obviously, he's not our player at the moment, is he? And that's if we even go for him. But what we can do then, Cav, is those preseason games. Exactly what you're saying. Like, who's going to be the next one up? I think, as you know, I'd employ everyone in the chat at the moment. Let's have a look while we're watching those preseason games. Who's the standout? Because I'm sure Xhaka will play. I'm sure Leone will get some minutes when he's back in terms of the training sessions and stuff. So let's see which one of them kind of shows that leadership quality, that calmness, because obviously Virgil is not going to be there, I don't think, for the first couple of preseason games. Maybe he gets there and then it's about getting him up to speed, getting him up to the understanding of the way we want to play and stuff like that. Then they'll put him in. Obviously, he's going to be our starter going into next season. But we could just look out for that. Which one of these guys are showing that level of calmness, that level of leadership, that level of organization at the back? See which one of them you can see just barking orders. And I did see a little bit of Leone just off the one game barking orders. I can't remember who he tried to play the ball into feet and they span around it behind. He was like, "What are you doing? Come short for the ball." I was like, okay, he's got that. He's got that about him. But let's see what happens.
Some people don't like talking in that respect because obviously I know you and I share the same opinion of Leone. We're like massively confident about him, and we've only seen 45 minutes. And people might think, well, that's not enough, and they're right. It's not enough of a sample size to judge a player. But even just like watching the inside training stuff, you just see the stature of him and the way he walks around and carries himself and things like that, and you just get this. sort of impression that he is somebody that's mature beyond his years, and you kind of then think, well, as a centre back, I kind of feel like I know what I'm going to get with you then, and it's obviously great things. Now that's probably is just getting ahead of ourselves and just filling in a lot of gaps with information that's not quite true. I don't know, but he's just the player that seen that 45 minutes, seen a bit of training, seen the way that he sort of carries himself around like the training ground and things like that. And I look at him and think, you come across like you're going to be a top centre back. That's probably that's crazy to say. I don't usually speak off a lack of evidence with things like this, but I don't know. It's just a feeling, a sense from him. It's a bit. I suppose in a way, it's a bit like when like Sobo now. Yes, we've seen the player, but you almost have this like confidence in him that he's going to not step up. But if I said to you this time next year, Szoboszlai has had a terrible season, he down tools and this and that, you'd be massively surprised, right? Because you'd be like, that's just not the personality of the man.
That's not like him,
he's going to work hard. It's almost the way that these guys carry themselves, you can read into a bit. And I just feel a little bit like that with Leone, where I'm just looking at things and judging things, thinking, I don't know, there's just something about that guy that just looks like he's going to be good, which is probably, I'd say, it's crazy to say at this stage, but it's just how I feel, man.
I think obviously we've got time to see as well, innit? Time to see how he does, and hopefully he might do it, but let's see what happens, man. Saw this as well. Thought I'd bring it to the people. I'm sure many of us have spoken about it. I don't think I did cover it at all. Or, I definitely didn't. In terms of Barcola and Rayan, apparently Liverpool are trying to sign, or we know that Barcola is definitely on Liverpool's list. They've now added Rayan to that. I don't know how much truth is in that in terms of trying to get both of them, and what does that look like. I know we need wingers. And clearly the manager wants some wingers, because he spoke about, getting in some wide players in terms of replacing Salah. So I don't know, Cal. I think it's not whether or not they're good players. I think Barcola is a good player. I'm still not sold on Rayan yet in terms of, because maybe it was because of the World Cup. He just looked limited to me, but I do get it, because obviously I had to factor in system. Was there good enough movement in front of him? Was there, I don't know, like, was he being used in the game? And I think there was one of the games they hardly even passed the ball to him in the first half, and then they started using him in the second half. So I had to kind of factor that in. Did I watch him a lot last season? Not really. There was obviously hype around him from those that paid a lot of attention to him. But he does look limited to me. But as I said, I'm just not trying to knock the kid, because obviously he's still young, still developing, first season in the Prem, trying to find his way. Obviously, if he comes in, he's coming in on his manager that he was working with, so that probably knows him in and out, and his skill sets could massively help what we're trying to go and do. So I want to bring him in. Am I going to be against that? No, I'm not. But I just look at it and I'm going, I don't know. He looks a bit basic and a bit simple. Barcola excites me a little bit more. Just the way he carries the ball is a bit more dynamic to me. But then again, Ryan could come in and do well. So I'm not asking you whether or not, they're good enough players. It's more, do you think we can actually get both of them or not?
Can we get both of them? I don't know. I suppose the truth of the matter is, if Liverpool put the money up and it looks like it's over 100 plus, million euros each, then it looks like you can price those players away. And I don't think we'd have any trouble convincing them to join us. So can we get them? Yes. Will we get both? I don't know. But I think, in Barcola, you've got somebody that's had a good World Cup. He's obviously sort of interchanged with Doué a bit, but he's shown us that he's rapid. He's composed in front of goal, and he affects the game. And you look at what his skill set is and think, that would work perfectly well for us at Liverpool. So he's the one that I think is, listening to a lot of Liverpool fans, is the guy right now that you want to try and bring in, even though you need a right winger. He predominantly plays on the left. I still think he's sort of number one target for a lot of fans, and I get it. Ryan is just, I was so disappointed by his World Cup. I was literally watching them Brazil games, and I forgot he was on the pitch. Like, that is a forward, especially in the Brazil side. can't happen. Like that just, he literally just was non-existent. And then the moments he picked up the ball, I'm like, okay, he's got it now. I'm going to see something. And then he didn't. And it was just like, I get it. He's Brazilian. He's got that Brazilian one name thing, which automatically makes people think they're good players, especially if they used to come from Shakhtar, the Wesleys, the Williams, and Kevins, and all these types of players, Tysons, all Brazilian, all from Shakhtar, one name. You know what you're getting.
They're cooking, man.
Ryan seems to be an exception to the rule because he's Brazilian, but he doesn't play like a Brazilian, bro.
He plays like a proper European baller, innit? Like give and go, and cross, give and go, and shoot.
So look, he's young. He's clearly, he's clearly a good player, but just not seen enough to be convinced. I think the only reason we're considering him, if we are, is because of the lack of options out there on the market. I think he's just. We might sign him, and we may end up with him, and he might be really good. But I think it's just be more out of desperation for needing to get somebody, and in a market that's not really got a lot of right wingers out there, top ones. He just, by default happens to be high up on the list. It's not a very good list. That's the trouble. So, yeah, it's crazy that you might drop 100 M's on him and sign him and still not be excited. That I can't believe we find ourselves in that situation, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing, innit? I think it's going to come down to what the cost is. But I would ask the chat then, guys, just simple yes or no. Do you think we could get both of them, or do you just think, we'll just get one? And if we're going to get one, which one would it be? Because if I had the option, I'm definitely picking Barcola.
Yeah,
I'm definitely picking Barcola over Ryan, and as I said, he could massively prove us wrong. And as I said, if the manager wants him, I'm here for it, because clearly he knows a player inside out, and he knows how good he can be. So I'd rather him. That's perhaps and it's Indy. Yeah, it is, but he has got some stuff right as well. So we can't pick and choose what one we want to believe and what we don't. Do you know what I mean? So we got to bring the news and we have the discussion around it, whether or not it's true or not. No journal is right until it's right. Fabrizio's spoken about Barcola for time now. And if we don't sign him, what are we going to say? Fabrizio's an idiot. He shouldn't. Like, what is he talking about? Do you know what I mean? So we kind of have to just speak about it and see what happens. And then if it comes true and the fruition's there, and then we're like, okay, cool, we'll give you that one. Where's the other ones you've got wrong? You know what I mean? So we have to have the conversation, though.
Yeah. What I would say, though, is if you end up with these two, plus Munoz and Gakpo, and then you've got Isak up front, Wirtz, just think of them all as forwards.
Yeah.
That, whilst that's not the best, forward line around, PSG's is obviously, right? And maybe Barcelona's and maybe Real Madrid's, but it's not the best you've seen around. It's not the best going back to previous sides either, but it will compete in the Premier League. I think that if you end up with those two, with what we've got, I think it will. I think if you keep hold of Alisson, Virgil, plus some pretty promising defenders, midfield that obviously needs adding to a more defensive-minded player, but a midfield that has won a Premier League, and you've got then a really good centre forward, a good 10, and then you've got those guys as your options as well. You can see in a world in which Liverpool just under this manager plays different, better style of football, gets the players back to playing what their actual ability is, not what we've seen last season. You can see how that then could work. So whilst they're not, Barcola, you'd be properly excited, and Ryan perhaps not. But if you think of them as like as a squad, as a forward unit, you can see how that could be quite successful. And maybe that's all we need to concentrate on. Really, is we have to sign forwards. We have to sign players this summer. There's no doubt about that. If Ryan is who you consider the best choice to be out there on the right-hand side at the minute, you just have to pay the money and do it then. Even if it's not 5 steps forward, that signing, if it's 1 step forward, as long as it's forward, it don't matter. Do you know what I mean? Next season's hopes are largely going to be pinned on Florian Wirtz turning up, Isak staying fit, the midfield decided to play to their actual ability. McAllister clearly saved himself for the World Cup. He's a completely different player in that World Cup than what we've seen last season, right? And then you've got Virgil, you hope and pray stays fit like he usually does, but then you need one of your centre-backs to shine. You need a Xhaka or a Leone to be fit for the whole of the season, realize, fulfill the potential we think they've got and cement themselves as a centre-back partner to Virgil. There's a lot of games to play and you need a lot of things to go your way. But that is probably enough to compete with the likes of Arsenal and stuff next season, because I don't see Arsenal or Man City being too far away, if I'm being honest with you.
I know with these injuries that they're picking up as well, Cav, man. I think Saliba might need back surgery. Rice has been running around with an injury all season. Saka is nursing his injuries as well, and I don't know what shape these guys are going to go into the season. Like they're going to be in the perfect shape, ready to go again and retain their title, or is Man City ready as well? Most of their players went away to the World Cup as well, and what shape are they going to be in as well under the new gaffer? Even though I think they'll do well, they're a good team and they'll invest in their squad. But you're right, if we can find a playing style, which I think we will have, you buy the right profiles. So forget the names for a second, just the right profiles to suit what we're trying to do. I think they can go into each game and execute the plan and bring that feel-good factor back to Anfield. And, the pressing, the enjoyment, the excitement is back again, and players are doing what they can do. We've seen that they can win a title. Most of these players are the ones that won the title the year before. So they can do it again, but they now need the right profiles in. So if he goes, Ryan is the one, I'll take it. It is what it is, isn't it? We'll take him in the squad. If he goes, Barcola is the one, I'll get. Even if it's Minte, if he thinks that's what we need, profile-wise, then that's what we need, innit? Obviously, we're going to moan and grumble, depending if we like the player or not as a fan, but in general, if he thinks that's what we need, then that's what we need, and we go and do it.
Yeah. And I suppose the good thing about these two players is they're young, and you're adding them into a team that's got Florian Wirtz, who's 22. Yeah, Isak's a little bit older, but still got obviously plenty of years ahead of him. You've got Ekitike that's young. You've got Szoboszlai that's a bit older, just in behind. You've got Xhaka that's young. You are reducing the average age of this squad with good players. And I know that fans want to win here and now, but as we've seen, it takes time for teams to be built. Arsenal won a title last season, but it took them years to build towards that. 7 years Arteta's, I think, has been there, hasn't it? And got close, finished second twice before going on and winning it. Even ourselves are both, our first Champions League and title winning season under Klopp, we had to build and just come close a few times before getting there. We might just have to humble ourselves and be like, yeah, I know we only won the league, a couple of seasons ago, but actually we were at a point where we just need to bring young players in that fit the profile, as you said, under a manager with the right football. And I don't want to say it's like a transition season, because that kind of discourages the fact that you can still win something, but almost, bring these players in. If you have to overpay, fine, but at least now we've got the players that they can spend enough time together to sort of build chemistry, become a unit, and then second, third, fourth year, they're winning things. Because if the likes of those players I've just listed are all together at the start of next season, and they look around at each other and going, we are Liverpool for the next 5 years, it's like, cool. So you got a season's grace to where we'll give you we'll be patient with you and try to figure things out. As long as we can see football, you're trying and the football's going the right way. Then second and third years, it's like, no. You are some of the best players in the world now. Your potential's been high. You've been together. The football's good. Now you need to take the next step and win things. If it's that, cool. I can get behind that. And I can accept the fact that we've got a lot of players with a lot of potential, and we need all of them to kind of come to fruition. But also, that's quite exciting. That is quite exciting to sort of think to yourself, okay, we've got the likes of Barcola and Ryan in now. Are they the players that you'd want now. You'd want fucking Kvaratskhelia, and you'd want all the other players. You can't get them. So accept the fact that you're going forward with younger players, great potential, and just hope our coach can coach. Hope Iriola can be on the training pitch and saying to the likes of Ryan, this is what this team needs from you. This is what Liverpool expects from you. You're quick, you're strong. You always look for a pass. That's great, but you need to do this, this, and this. You need to run in behind, off. When midfielders on the ball, you need to pull wide to offer your defender a pass. When you get one-on-one with your defender, you have to go by him. You have to find Isak in the box. All them types of things. Suddenly, you look at Ryan as not just a player with bags of potential and had a relatively good season, but more so now as somebody that's like, damn, he's so effective in this Liverpool scene. And that's all that I care about with these players. You just got to be effective in this setup. I don't care how many goals you walk away with, how many assists you walk away with. I just want to look at you as a player and think the team's better when you're in it. That's all I really care about. I don't care if Isak scores all our goals next season. And the result, and that only happens because the likes of Ryan is doing so much good work out on the right wing. Cool. I'll spend 100 million on Ryan then, if that's what it facilitates, So I'm more looking at what these players can bring to the team collective as a whole rather than individually. And you just if these are the two players we sign, then we just got to believe in that fact, really, that they've been brought in because Liverpool, whoever the fucking signs players nowadays, God knows who that is, it's thought to themselves, yeah, they're good enough. They're the players that fit the profiles.
So you got this one as well. I said with Adam Wharton again. Says Man United making a late move for Adam Wharton after LFC was told this evening of his transfer fee. Sorry, keep a close eye on this one. Liverpool and Man United officials are watching closely. So Liverpool now know how much he costs. Apparently, Man United are considering him as well. I initially thought that Adam Wharton was more of an Arne Slot signing and not a Liverpool under Iriola type signing. But I could be wrong. He might want a player of his skill set within his team as well. But if the price is crazy, because if we're talking about Barcola, that's going to be 100 at least, 100 plus. Rayan might be 100 plus or just underneath that. Adam Wharton, you'd probably think is going to be 100 as well. I don't know if Liverpool are willing to do all of that. I honestly don't know. So, do I like him as a player? I think he's a good player. Is he what we need right now? Yeah, I think we can add him to the squad. But I don't know if he's an Iriola type signing. Chat, what do you think? And obviously, Cav, what do you think?
Yeah, look, Chat, you might have to help me out on this one because I know that he's a player that divides opinion. Me personally, I'm of the opinion that he's a good player, but I think his hype is way inflated how good he actually is. I think because he's a left footer, we instantly look at left-footed players and think they're better than right footers for whatever reason. It's the way they carry the ball. It's the way they hit the ball. It's something they just look like they're silky, even though they may not be silky type. But he's obviously a good passer of the ball. His long range passing is pretty clean.
Yeah,
and he usually finds his man. That much is true. He covers the pitch well. That much is true. He's aggressive in his challenges. Yeah, if you watch his highlight reels, he's a good tackler of the ball. But if you watch the games, I have also seen games where players have just gone by and I'm just like, hold on a minute. If we're talking about £100 million midfielder here, that is one of his things that is spoken about is how good he is at tackling. I shouldn't be seeing these people just skipping by you. So I think that's maybe a skill set that's a little bit inflated with him. I think he's a good player. I just think he's overhyped to be sure. And I don't know what he looks like in a Liverpool midfield, because I think we know that Iriola is going to play like a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. He ain't going to move away from that too much, really, is it? If you've got Florian Wirtz in the 10, which I hope we channel our sort of play through really. Or if we sign good wingers, fine, go out wide initially and then work the ball back into the box. Cool. I don't know how much he complements that. And I've heard people talk about how he would be great for Florian Wirtz. Could he'd get the ball into Florian Wirtz? I'm just like, how much of that is true, to be honest with you. Will he get the ball into Florian Wirtz?
No,
yes, but I don't think Florian Wirtz struggles receiving the ball. I think one of his great skill sets is he always finds space. He always finds pockets. I think a large part of our disappointment with Wirtz last season is when he got into them pockets, he then was like, if it's a first time passing to somebody, it was good. But often he'd get dispossessed, he'd get tackled, he was weak, he'd carry the ball, and you'd think, right, he's the man that's meant to be a killer and play that through ball, and then he just mishit the pass and stuff like that. And you're like, ugh. I don't think finding Florian Wirtz was the issue. So I won't be spending £100 million player on a defender where that's the thing we want the most. I just if he comes in and he's a workhorse, he's energetic, he's young, he's a good clean tackler, he knows when to fill between the centre backs, he knows when to track his man into the box so we don't have third man runners killing us all the time. Those types of things, and then he's got the range, and it just can work in what Iraola is trying to set up. I can see how, that would be great, worthwhile spending the money. I'm just not convinced by it.
Does he start then for you then, Cav? Does he start for you then?
And he's a player with a skill set for me,
if
where
he has to. Have to start, wouldn't he?
No, but the money, yes, but equally his skill set. He is different to McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and Wirtz. He's different, and Jones. He's different to all of them in the way he plays. So you're either all in on him and he's a starter and you build your team, not around him, but he's a key cog in it, or you don't sign him at all, because it's like if he plays, he is going to be hitting long range passes. You might not want that. If you're pushing up the pitch and pressing and you're only playing in the opposition's half, a long range pass is kicking the ball into the stands. So I don't know how that works. It's just if Liverpool if they're looking at it, okay, when a game's we're not pushing higher up and the game's being more played, in our half, or the teams are more stretched and he's got the range to open up his legs and track runners and tackle aggressively and then spread through balls. Maybe in transition that might be brilliant and stuff. Cool, I get it, but it just depends which direction Liverpool want to go. And if I think I'm right in the way that Iraola wants to play, I don't quite know how that works. I mean, it would be fair to say that I think that when under Klopp we played high up the pitch and we were really aggressive and pushing up and stuff, one player that was so key for us was Fabinho. He would be the guy that when Mane, Salah, Fabinho, whatever it is, would lose the ball up top, and the opposition would then look to try and play out, Fabinho was like aggressive, straight in. He was always within 2 or 3 yards of when that ball made it back into the midfield, and he would snap it up and then he'd play a pass. One of Fabinho's, I think, underrated skill set was actually his passing was then really so quick once he won the ball, and he was so clean with it. And it might have been simple, but you needed that to turn winning the ball back to then getting on the front foot. If we play that way again, and Adam Morton's that type of player where he's good defensively, but more forward facing, as opposed to somebody that is better on the edge of his own 18-yard box. Cool, I can understand that. I get that, how that might work and how you can utilize his skill set. But I also think that there's other players that can then do that won't cost 100 million. So it's a tricky one with me. I'm torn. I'm ultimately not convinced by him signing, but that's why I asked the chat. If someone can sort of paint a picture to me how he works at Liverpool, then I could be swayed, because obviously he's got skill set in it.
Apart from Platinum, I think was he the only one that gave me some good things about him. Quick, comfortable quality, passing off both feet when will be needed. So I don't know if that's you saying that's his level and that's how good he is. The one thing I'd give him, but the rest of the guys, and obviously Kathy says he turns like a truck. But the rest of the you know, the one thing, sorry, I should say, that I like about him, I love those players because they're so underrated. The ones that win the ball and pass it early, the ones that see the right pass and make the right decision of the pass every single time. Not flashy, doesn't have to be all, you know, outside of the foot. Just win it and play the right pass. Those players are so underrated because they start off the attack in the right way. And that breaking the lines as early as possible. When you've drawn a team and you can see the gap being open between the attackers and the opposition and their midfield when they're starting to press, and you do like a little cute little reverse pass, or you punch it into and in between a half space, and you're like, bang, that player now can turn, and now we can go and cause damage. And I think he has that. I think that from what I have seen him, I think he could bring that to our team. I think he could bring that.
Let me ask you this then, Endz. Let me pose this to you then. He's £100 million player that plays in the Premier League, and you've just described what he's good at. Why wasn't he in the England squad then?
I think the gaffer went with something different. I think he thought more solidity. I think he thought, you know, the hype around Declan. And this is what I'm saying about, and it's not to disrespect Tuchel. Obviously, he's clearly a top-level world-class manager because he's done it at the highest level and he's won Champions League. But when there's hypes around players sometimes, yeah, and you have an idea of what you want, but then you think, ooh, the media is saying that, there's people in his ear going, yeah, look, we got to pick Rice because of, you know, he just won the Prem, he can offer us legs in the midfield, and Elliot Anderson's kind of the next one up. And when you're mentioning these type of names, it's hard not to pick them. And then he picked Mainu just off the back of maybe like 6 months of good football as well, where he's started to step up. I don't think he looked past. He think Bellingham can do it all. I don't think he looked past the Curtis Jones and looked at those Adam Whartons and stuff like that, because he probably didn't think that that's the way we wanted to play. Someone that can do that. And that's why I said it's difficult. The other two players are good players. Elliot Anderson and Rice are good players, even though I'm not Rice sometimes. They're still good players. And that's why I said that key thing, right? And it for me doesn't go unnoticed when players are picking the right pass every single time. But it's not just the right pass, like it's a sideways pass or it's a backwards pass and I just keep the ball and I look good. It's I'm reading the game and I've seen, right, we've played 1-2s here and we've drawn them into us, and I've gone, I know where my next pass is going. Bang, round the corner, go now. And then information on it. I'm punching it into you, and you know that's information. Turn and go. Rice don't do that. Elliot Anderson, I don't really see do that. But I just think the manager didn't want to play with that type of midfield. I think he wanted to utilize the wide men more. So you're thinking, as long as I've got some fast shoots on the wide areas, we'll combat in the middle. We congest it in the middle. Kane can drop in, and then we just start sending the wide, and then we'll have runners. Bellingham can join the attack. Kane can join the attack. I think that's the way he wanted to play. He didn't want to stretch the team, allow the team to try and press us, but we leave the numbers high up, and then we can punch those passes. That's just the way he wanted to attack it. But I think him and that's why I say Curtis Jones should have been picked, in my opinion. I think Curtis should have been. But then again, obviously, if he's looking at a big part player and he's playing right back half the time, he's like, well, I don't need a right back. I've got Trent didn't even get picked. Do you know what I mean? I've got Spence, I've got Reece James, I've got Konza that can go there, I've got Kwanzaa that can go there. So he's just thinking like, I don't need a Curtis if that's where Liverpool's played in most of the season. Why do I need him at right back? I need a centre midfielder. But then he probably didn't look at Jones because he doesn't have the PR of being that combative midfielder that can do what he needs to do. But I think for us and the way Iraola wants to play, from what I've heard, what he said, but then again, that's why I said these preseason games, and I employ everyone, and I know I bang on about it all the time. It's so important when what Cav said earlier about, let's look at the defenders in terms of who's going to step up. Virgil goes next season, after next season. Who's the one that you look at and go, he's displaying leadership quality here. He's demanding on his teammates to make sure things are knitted together properly. I'm talking about when we're playing, you know, we're watching the passes, seeing how we're stretching team. Okay, if we had this profile, could he have played that pass instead? And that's where I see, like, that's where we have to start picking the players. Once we see the first preseason game, the second preseason game, I think that's when we should be like, yo, we can get these players in. It doesn't have to be a specific name, but a profile, right? I think Liverpool can kick on. That's why I'm looking forward to the games. I know we got a behind the closed door game tomorrow. I don't even know who it's against, but I did scroll past something on Liverpool's Instagram page, but I think they've got a behind the closed door game. So I want to, Obviously, we're not going to be privy to, which pissed me off a little bit. So we might see some clips or something, but I actually want to see it. And then I want to see the first game as well, the first preseason game, and how we play there as well. So I think it's very important. So let's not look at it. I'd employ everyone that's watching at the moment. Don't just look at it for fitness. Fitness is just natural anyway. They're going to work hard in preseason and they're going to get themselves fit. Clearly, the manager wants them to be at a certain level. But I want you guys to look at the things that you think is going to help us going into the season. Try and identify things that you think, okay, now wouldn't Wharton be a great asset to the team after watching the first game? You're thinking, oh, that pass keeps getting cut out. But, Wharton's profile is he makes those passes. And you're thinking, I would rather pay that because there's going to be games in the season where you're going to need that. And that could be the difference between 3 points or losing a game of football, because you have that as a part of your squad. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, we get him and he has to start. But a part of the squad where you got different weapons, you're like, yo, the game needs this now. Let's bring him on. Or the game needs this from the start. Let's utilize him from a starting aspect. So it should be intriguing.
Yeah.
I think you could say I'm gassed, bro. I can't wait.
Yeah, well, I know you are, man. I'll be honest, I've never known anyone to like preseason as much as you. I can't lie. But I think it's because we're excited. We love like football, obviously, and we get excited about what could be. And I think like when we spoke at the end of Klopp's reign and Slot came in, I remember us having a conversation saying like the team fell off at the end of that season. Everybody said, oh, Klopp announced leaving. It put too much emotion and pressure onto things and stuff. It was like, kind of, but Liverpool were just crap, right? And we looked at that and went, if this next guy can come in, and we didn't really know much about Slot, if anything, at the time, but we said, look, if this manager can come in with a fresh pair of eyes and look and evaluate these players at what their skill sets are, and he comes up with a formula that works, this is a great squad. This can win things. And that happened. He tweaked a few things and he had a brilliant season. And tactically, he looked really astute and he was cold in his decisions. And we went and won a league. Fell apart again last season. I think I go into this season thinking not quite the same. More, I'm not looking at this squad going, if you get a few things right, we'll be great. No, it needs a bit more than that. It needs additions. But to the same sort of thought process, if Iraola can play a brand of football and be dead clear in his identity with the players, you win the ball and you play forward. You win the ball and you play passes to players that can go and affect something. Ball retention is important, yes, but being brave, attacking, playing forward, making sure that we don't waver from what our core principles are and our identity is. If he can get that across to the players, you can almost see that instantly in preseason then. Because you start watching preseason games where the centre-backs are passing between each other, and then it goes into midfield, and then it goes back to the centre-back, and then we push up the pitch, and we're at the edge of the 18, but it's going side to side, side to side. Then you start to worry going, it's preseason. If there's ever time to be brave and try things, it's now. So I'm expecting to see patterns whereby the ball's being punched in to the box. The winger is giving into the winger. He's going by his man. He's putting the ball in the box. It's where the defender's stepping up and he's in midfield, and we've got play. All these types of things where it's just like aggression, positive thinking, forward thinking. Because Iraola will have spent a few weeks with the players, he'd have already explained that to them. He'd have set out his principles from day one. And he'd have been coaching it for them. And then we get to the preseason games and we should be seeing things. We should be coming away from the games thinking, actually, it weren't perfect. It's not going to be. A lot of players play with themselves preseason, building fitness. We'll probably play two teams. One does 45, one does 45, one does 60, one does 30, whatever it is. But every player that played, you could tell that Iraola's told them that this is how we're going to play football, because you could see it in their decision making. That's what's exciting, because if we then see that, you can then think, cool, we've got that bit down. Now we just need to do two more things: add to the squad and hope that these players can perform when it really comes to the important matches. And that's why we get excited, and that's why we like the manager that we've now brought in, because we think we're getting that good attacking football again now. So I kind of get why you'd be excited and why you should rightfully say to like fans that are watching the games, like, set high expectations. Like, don't look at it as preseason and use the old excuse of they're building fitness and stuff. Yeah, of course we know that. That's what it's for. But equally, it's for the manager teaching the players how they're supposed to play when the season starts. So set expectations, watch the preseason games if you're going to, looking at it going, he needs to do more. He's an attacker. He should be attacking. He's a defender. He should be aggressive. He's a fullback. He should be bombing on the overlap and putting the ball into the box, you know. And if you're not seeing them things,
I can't wait to see overlap.
Yeah,
I swear last season I didn't see, you know, the simple like set and then they just run around the back of the winger, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's just to take the player away. Now you can, now the fullback has an you know, he has to either stay with the running fullback or he gets tight to the wing and he just nicks it around the corner and then we're in. We hardly even saw that last season. So much inverted running from our fullbacks last season, ending up in midfield when they're not comfortable on the ball in those areas. And that's no disrespect to them. They're just, that's not their skill set. That's not their playing style. Do you know what I mean? That's not, like, I'd rather the guys that, you know, training session after training session, he's working on his shooting and the final third play in terms of the goals. That's the guy I want to be in those positions trying to make those runs. Not my fullback where he's spending half the time getting deliveries in 1 and 2 touches, defending with the back line organization, spending less time shooting. Obviously, when they play the little mini games at the end and they, you know, they stay after and you get a few shots and stuff. But they're not shooting more than the strikers. They're not shooting more than the wing. They're not shooting more than the midfielders. So, but last season, those were the guys who were ending up in those positions. I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. So the guys that spend the whole season working on their finishing is the ones that's not in the box. But the guys that spend the whole season trying to work on organization defending is the ones that go in the box to score. And that's why last year we saw so many moments here where they got into good positions and then the shot was like directly at the goalkeeper. You're like, I'd rather that had been Isak, or I'd rather that had been Ekitike, or I'd rather that had been, you know, whoever else you kind of put there.
Yeah. But doesn't that go back to your system? If your system and your tactics are resulting in your strikers and your forwards not getting the shots away, then the system and the tactics are wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, someone must have got like the fucking tactics board upside down or something then, because why am I seeing the fucking defenders in the box taking shots? Why am I seeing, you know, Kirkes inverting and now being the tempo setter in midfield? Something's gone dead wrong here, you know. So you're right, but I think Kathy said she was pleased to see the players all dead out on their feet after the initial sort of few days. Ask yourself why you're excited to see that, because you're seeing energy, you're seeing work rate, you're seeing effort, and then you think to yourself, so come the season, I expect the same. This is why you work so hard now, is to build that fitness so you can do it when it counts. And I think next season, a lot of sort of our basic level things that we expect as fans is going to be that fucking hard work, running, tackling, aggression, look like they care about the game, you know, because if they do that, Liverpool fans will carry them that bit further. You know, we'll build momentum with you. Don't worry about that. You know, we've seen that happen over the years. So I think that's where pre-season is so important, because it's almost the manager's way of telling the fans, this is what you can expect from this team next season. You want to, even if the season doesn't start off well, right? Newcastle away, first game of the season, that's a pretty tough ask, right? Even though God knows what the Newcastle squad will be, you know, by the time they start. But like, at the end of the day, they hate us, right? They do. They hate us. Yeah. So they're going to want to kick us off the pitch and stuff like that. And so let's say we get a draw that game, go into the next game, get a draw again. Let's say you go 5 games, right? Let's use last season, for example. Fucking scrape by the first 5 games of the season. Let's say in the next season pans out in a similar fashion. 5 games, 10 points, drop 5. Drop 15 or whatever it is, right? We're not particularly happy as fans with the results. But if we can see that the game is being played in a similar manner to what we've seen in pre-season when it were working, and the players are working hard, and we can see the identity and we can see the way of playing, we as fans can be like, calm, don't worry, it's a long season, right? There'll be a bit of copium in there, but it'll be like, this is going to work at some point. The sooner this works, the better. But this is going to work at some point. Don't change from this. Don't try different things. Don't move players around. Don't rotate and scrap the whole thing. No. Stick to your convictions. This will pan out at some point. I'd rather be stronger at the back end of the season anyway, right? You just hope that you're still in the competition to give you a chance. that's where preseason then becomes important, because you've already set your expectation by the time the end of August starts and the preseason starts, where you're just like, I know what I should expect from this team now. It's what I've been seeing in preseason. It's what I've been seeing in inside training. Because if it moves away from that, we're back to where we were with Slot, where it was like, I've seen good things in preseason. Then we get to the season, different things are happening. You're chopping and changing. Nobody knows what they're doing. No one knows what our identity is. No players can feel confident in what they're being asked to do. It's a complete mess. We don't need mess anymore. We need direction. And that's where I'm so excited about seeing these preseason games, because it's just like, that's the earliest point in which I'm going to start to see how Liverpool are going to show up next season, or at least try, you know. And that's why they're important.
I saw this about Rio. Looks different, looks sharp, looks stronger. Looks like he's filled out a little bit as well. The word on the street is that he's going to be highly, highly touted after to be a part of the England squad going into the Euros Nation League setup. Listen, England, just let my boy live for a minute. Yeah? Let him just develop into the player he wants. Don't dash pressure on him already. I know he cooked in his first cap and he was showing up and showing out, you know, for those that watched the game. In a position I didn't think he was the most comfortable in, but he can play. He played on the right-hand side and he was cooking. But even him as well, like, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can offer, because yes, he's young. Yes, we want to sign other wingers, but he's got the first dibs for me. He's got the first dibs at the moment. He's been there from the start of preseason. You know, he's got to show the manager what he's about, make the right decisions, beat his fullbacks, get the ball in the box, start adding goals and assists to his game. And it'll be intriguing to see how well he does in preseason, how fit he is, how much stronger he is. Is his decision-making even better as well? Is he making the right choices when he gets into the right areas? So England, just let my guy live for a bit, please. Don't add too much pressure on him early, bro. There's plenty of time. He's young. There's plenty of time to add him to the squad. They ain't gonna treat him like Mainu. I didn't even kick a football. Maybe Mainu plays tonight for England, but he ain't even kicked a football in the World Cup. Don't bring my guy to no bench warmer. If he goes, he has to play. He's that good. So don't rush my guy's progress, man. Let him develop, man. Let him develop.
I seen this too, and I just said to myself, well, yeah, no shit. He's probably the best England player around. What we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Are we all going to act like we didn't see that final warm-up game and Rio weren't the best player on the pitch? I tell you now, right? Chatting to Sav the other day, I said the same thing. I said, England played in that World Cup. Had they played in their warm-up games, dead, trash, right? Yeah. They just got saved. They got saved by Kane and Bellingham heroics at times, you know? Yeah, Madueke had a few good moments. Gordon gets his goal, showing a bit of pace. Realistically, they didn't play as a team, and they weren't, like I say, they were saved by one or two individual bits of brilliance. They needed individual bits of brilliance, and in that final warm-up game, it was Rio that gave it them. I watched that warm-up game and walked away thinking, how Rio can't be taken to the World Cup, I don't know. They need him. They literally need him. You know, he's the player that takes it upon himself to go by a man and makes things happen. Everybody follows suit then. Oh, this guy's attacking his beat somebody, get in the box. Suddenly you're getting in the box, you're getting excited about scoring goals, you start pressing more, you start tackling more, you know, you need a leader. And he for me, certainly come the Euros, Kane probably, I don't know if Kane will make the Euros. Jude will obviously still be there. For me, it'll be the best, it'll be top 3 England players there. No doubt, I have no doubt about that. Seriously, I mean, we think highly of forwards anyway, but look at him. I think I've already, you know, we've already spoke. I've already said it. I think next season, I think he stays fit. He is going to be. He's talked about it's like, yeah, the youngster, really good. Let's see what happens. Next season is going to undeniably probably the best player in the league. It sounds ridiculous.
He's gonna put up numbers in it.
I look at the wingers that are in the league. Saka didn't do much last season, not up to much. Madueke's all right. Martinelli's gone. Doku's obviously a killer, but didn't contribute with a lot of goals. And has spells where he doesn't contribute much. We spoke about Ryan. We're looking at these wingers that we're talking about in the league. Rio's probably up there with, like, it's certainly in terms of beating his man and chance creation when you're given the ball. He's already up there. Like, give him an entire season where he plays regular minutes. You'll be coming at the back end of that season thinking, name a winger that's better than him at beating his man. You'd probably only say Doku.
Yeah.
Right? And then you say, okay, well, in terms
but Doku don't even do it with trickery. He just does it from a stop-start, though, isn't it? But Rio actually does it with trickery.
This is what I'm saying. The kid can destroy any fullback. He just can, man. His feet, his body movement, his shifts, they're too quick. They're too quick, right? So I just think that he's about to explode, Rio. I just know it, man. I'm willing to go all in on Rio next season. I genuinely think that A, because of how good he is, and B, because of how poor wingers are just in the Premier League in general. He's only got to be a bit better to really elevate himself to at least top 3 winger in the Premier League next season. You do that as a youngster that's English, and the way that he plays, PR will be mad. The media will be mad. They'll be all over him. He'd already signed up to I think to be an ambassador for EA or something I seen the other week or something like that. They're already chomping at the bit to get this kid signed up to sponsorship deals and stuff. He's a star, man. He's the next one. So easily he's going to be so good. The only thing I'd say with him is, not to put a negative on it, but I watched the inside training. He was very good. But he's got this.
I know what you're gonna say.
No.
I'm cooking you. No, don't say it. And I saw it as well. I was like, oh, you should have probably passed earlier, my guy. He was like, no, I'm cooking you.
Wait. One of my favorite, my top 3 Liverpool players of all time is Sadio Mane, right? No wild surprise there, probably most people's. But why was he so good? Could beat you one-on-one, byline or cut inside. Shot on him, a bit like we see in Rio's goal where he tucked it bottom corner. I think Fulham was it, right? He's aggressive. I think Rio's strong, got big calves. He's strong. I think he's going to learn to really use his body better and holding off a man as well. But one thing Sadio Mane had that he learned during his time at Liverpool that then became such a weapon for us is running in behind. It's off the ball running. It's arriving into the box at the right time to get them tap-ins. Because you can be great with the ball at your feet, but there's other players on the pitch. When the ball is out wide on the right or the striker's picking it up and running, you need to make sure your movements are right so that you can time your runs into the box and stuff. You can't just be good with the ball on the ball, right? So that's something he's got to sort of develop. But I'd say more importantly than that, and this is just me trying to predict how the games might pan out. I see as the forwards pressing up the pitch, which he's going to learn when the triggers are and how aggressive and the speed in which you run and the angle in which you approach the fullback and all them types of things, right? Got to do that. If we win the ball high up the pitch, he doesn't want to slow the ball down too much. That's my only worry with him at the minute. It's not even a worry, just something I'd like him to just recognize that last season, him standing the defender up and slowing the game down, step overs, then speeding it up again was great because we were dead. We had no attack, and the team was, as you said earlier, was afforded the time because of our lack of pace to get back and in position that our wingers always had to beat their man from a standing start, right? Next season, I hope that Iraola plays in such a way that we win the ball back early and higher up, that then suddenly, yes, you've got to beat your man, possibly, but everything you've got to do has got to be quick. It's got to get the ball out your feet, get your ball out the feet. We're now in transition. You can't afford to slow the ball down so you can time when you do your step overs and body feints to beat your man. The time's gone. The opposition's got back. So he's just going to have to learn that thing whereby if, let's say, the opposition kick the ball out, we win it back aggressively in midfield, and then the midfielder punches the ball into the forwards, he's got to make sure that he moves and receives the ball, and whatever he does is quick. And it might not be step overs, it might not be body feints, it might just be receive the ball, pass it, quick. We have to get this ball from the edge of the 30 yards out to a shot on goal in the next sort of 10 seconds. We ain't got time to slow down step overs and stuff like that. And that's where I think under Iraola he's got to develop. But if he does, and he's got that thing where defenders don't know if he's going to slow you down and beat you, or if he's just going to, as he receives the ball, he already knows he's taking a touch and he's gone by you. That's scary. That is scary.
Who did he scoop over? I saw, what was the game, man? I saw someone slid off the pitch. He scooped it over him as he ran by him. I can't remember the game now. It was mad. It might have been one of the top clubs. Cal, I see you in the chat. Cal Guna says, he's got potential in that. As a supreme baller, but best in the league next season. That's nuts. I think it's a claim that if it comes to fruition, I would love to know if you would come back here and go, maybe you was right. Maybe he was right. It's not an outrageous claim, because obviously there's decent wingers in the league, but Saka didn't hit the ground running last season. Madueke didn't. They did what they needed to kind of do, but from the standards they set themselves, or Saka set himself, he weren't even at his level. Doku was the only one that people spoke highly about, and it wasn't because of his outputs. It was more of the excitement he brought to the game and the difference he could make in terms of offsetting defenses and allowed his teammates and got the ball into good areas where his teammates could go and execute and score goals. Other than that, the other wingers in the league, Chelsea wingers, man, what did they do last season? Do you know what I mean? Spurs wingers, what did they do last season? You know what I mean? Look, there's a reason why there's a reason why people are bigging up Ryan, because he was at Bournemouth, and guess what? His team did all right. They didn't lose, I think, like 18 games at the back end of the season. No one could beat them. But that's why. But where was the other names being, highly spoken about? What we're saying is, if he goes and has a good preseason, which we're expecting him to do, like Calvin said, if he stays fit, and like what he said, if he can execute those things where he's not holding on to the ball too long to step up and slowing it down, then you've got a player at the moment with the right profile. Is he quick? Yes. Is he good at beating his players 1v1? Yes. Can he shoot? Clearly shown that he can get shots off and he's good at finishing. Can he do that? Yes. Does he make the right decisions in moments sometimes? Yes. Can he go byline and go inside? Yes. But what we're saying now, if he's fit enough, strong enough, great preseason, and the system suits where we're getting the ball into him early, so it's not 2v1s and it's 1v1, likelihood if he's 1v1, he will go by you. Likelihood is he's going to skip by you and he will put the ball in the box. And it's about standing out. All the games that he played for Liverpool, he got man of the match. The game he played for England, he got man of the match. So he felt like,
this is what I'm saying. When he plays, he gets man of the match. Like,
when he plays,
well, of course he's going to be the best winger in the league next season. Like, he might not walk away with the most goals. I think he likes it when Mbeumo and I don't know, Dickinson Cunha as a winger. I don't know. Maybe Saka gets fitter next season. He contributes. But wingers ain't scoring 20 goals a season anymore. They're scoring 10.
Yeah, they're not Salah. Salah's the only one that does that.
Yeah. So don't worry about judging him about numbers. Rio probably walks away with like 7-8 goals next season. Cool. He won't be far off the 10 that the best wingers are getting, let's say. It's the fact that you're going to walk away from every game that Rio plays and go, he's man of the match. Like, he's the best player. He stood out. Why did he stood out? You can't defend him. You can't. He's too, did Liverpool win the game? No. But who was the best player on the pitch? Well, I'll tell you what, that Rio was good. You couldn't live with him. You couldn't defend him. He every time he went by his man, it was just unfortunate. Couldn't get the goal, couldn't get the assist, whatever. But he stands out. In this league, with the wingers we've got in this league, you put that up against anybody else, he's going to instantly be one of the best, because the standard ain't that high. Like, you put him up against
no one's really setting the bar high, isn't it?
You put him up against Craver and Dembele and Doué and Barcola and stuff. I'd argue, you know what, I'm not as confident in saying he's going to show out better than them next season. I'm talking about, we're comparing him to like Madueke and Mbeumo and Neto and Garnacho and Ahmad and like Doku and stuff. Doku last season had an all right year, right? Walked away with like 5 goals, right? A few assists. Why do we think he's so good? Because every time he gets the ball, you don't know what he's going to do, whether he's going to go the inside or the outside, but you know he's going to run at you and be direct and he's going to beat you. That was enough for people to say he was the best winger in the league last season. Rio can do that. Rio can easily do that. Rio doesn't have to get stats next season. All he's got to do is beat his man next season, and suddenly we think of him in the same ilk as Doku last season. That instantly puts him as like top 3 in the league. If then Liverpool are good and he gets goals and he gets assists I'm saying the fact that he's English and the fact that like all media outlets and brands are chomping at the bit to get this guy signed up, that then he's going to be in every pre-match build-up. He's going to be on all the adverts. He's going to be on the billboards. He's going to be on the front of EA or whatever it is. Suddenly, the name Rio Ngamoa is big come the end of next season. So that's where I say he quite easily could be thought of as the best winger in the league next season because of everything that's going to go for him.
Yeah, it's but obviously if it comes down to if we judge the players based off the numbers that they're producing, and like what you said, if even if you only get 7, then obviously people are gonna be like, well, he got more numbers, he got more numbers, and so you're not going to be able to argue the case if it comes down to that. But in terms of you're talking about performances throughout the game, you're talking about even when we lose, he's the best player. Even when we're winning, he's just causing problems. And that's why Doku stood out. His numbers weren't great, but he stood out because he was a difference maker within games. And and half the time it weren't him scoring. He was just, because he caused so much problems, it opened up space for someone else to get the assist and someone else to get the goal. And if you do that and you come out the game and you get the man of the match and you're racking them up throughout the season, people will be like, yeah, I know his numbers ain't that high, but I don't want to play against this guy. And then that's when you can build your rep. That's when you can kick on from there. But that comes down to loads of things. He has to be fit enough. He has to be coachable and ready to go from there. System has to suit what he's about as well. He has to come out the back of preseason, like what you said, making those right decisions and right changes. And then does that look like a starter to you? And if that's the case, then if he starts, he's gonna have the platform to go and become one of the best. The platform is there. If he's on the bench, then it's more difficult because you're like, well, I'm gonna have to come on and make a difference. And if I come on and the manager still don't trust me and whatever, then yeah, cool. He's gonna have to wait, and then we'll end up saying one of the other wingers are the best ones in the league, and they probably had a half a good season. Bruno, for a prime example, Bruno won Player of the Season for 6 months of Premier League football. The first half of the Premier League season, no one can convince me because I was paying attention to United's team. He was playing in the center of midfield and it was looking dark. Kept losing the ball, kept throwing up his hands in the air, stropping everything. Man United couldn't string anything together. As soon as Carrick went back into the system, Carrick became the manager and he went back in the 10, he kicked on from there. He got loads of assists and he ended up becoming the Player of the Season. He got it for 6 months of football. But whatever the media tried to portray it was like, oh, he had an amazing season. And I'm like, you ain't gonna fool me, bro. Like, no, he didn't have an amazing season. Just say he had a good back end of the season and he done really well and he stood above his peers, and that's why. Because even the guys like Arsenal fan, you're an Arsenal fan, Cal, in the chat. You know, Morris is, I'm sure he's probably here somewhere. You'd say Declan Rice was the better midfielder last season because he had a consistent run from the start of the season to the end. Didn't have a look in. And the reason why is because Bruno was being the standout. Even though Rice was doing his thing, but was he the standout? Was he the one scoring the goals? Was he the one getting the headline? Everyone was talking about more your set piece, the defense, how strong it is, and Gyökeres scoring goals and whatever. So everyone else was getting that limelight and the media aspect that way. And then Bruno was out here just getting an assist in a game. Not playing great, by the way, just getting an assist. Oh, he's nearly on the 20. So he got that boost. So what we're saying is if Rio goes into the season and he's skipping by players and you're like flipping, oh, that first half, I enjoyed that. Second half, I thoroughly enjoyed that. He might get an assist, he might not, but Liverpool win. You walk out and be like, yo, and then next game, he might get a goal then. I was like, yo, he started, and he continues to do those things, just being a problem throughout the season. People look at him as one of the top wingers in the league. People will start talking about him on that level, like, yo, like this kid is unreal, you know. And
there's some things, there's some fair points in the chat. I mean, a couple of guys have said that, like, he's going to be in a known entity next season, and teams are going to double up on him. That's true. And look, if teams double up on him and he's then ineffective, right? You can then that argument wins. Fine. He has to overcome that challenge of when he's not just going past one man. That's fair, right? But if teams are still getting to the halfway through the season, let's say they come up for their second legs in the league, if you like, right? And they know, okay, you double up on Rio, you're cool, right? But then the rest of the team is finding space. Now Verts is finding space. Now Isak's finding space. You still get to the end of that same season going, Rio weren't effective, but he must still be good for the entire league to double up on him, right? Because if every team's doubling up on him, yet conceding goals because Isak's free and Wirtz is free and stuff, suddenly they're then going to have to think, well, maybe don't double up on him. And they're in a conundrum between, do you double up on the most offensive player, or do you just accept him one-on-one and not tailor our team towards him and just defend Liverpool as a unit? Then he still kills you. So you still walk away from the season going, he beat his man because nobody doubled up on him and they just left the defender out, to dry trying to defend against Rio. Or we doubled up on him and we still got killed because we stopped their best player, yes, but then they still had other players that killed us. You still walk away and the narrative still is Rio's so good that he then forced the opposition to double up on him, So there's still a way in which you can spin that narrative to be a positive one for him. I'd perfectly fine, if I'm being honest with you, if we play Rio every week and everybody doubles up on him. And give Wirtz and Isak and whoever the right winger is space to play.
But I don't think that will be the case next season. I think on the slot it would be the case, right, where they're going to double up on him. But now, and that's why I said preseason is a massive, massive thing for me, because now I'm going to be like, are the fullbacks going to do the inverted thing, or are they overlapping? If they're overlapping, you can't double up on it. Someone has to go with the fullback then. Someone has to go, and then it means it's me and you again, me and you 1v1 again. But last season, we were doing a lot of inverts. So that's what we saw Salah doubled up on, Gakpo doubled up on, Rio at times being doubled up on as well. And inexperience, obviously, young, inexperienced, not as strong. You're hoping that was a learning curve for him last season where he's like, oh, when I come up against stronger defenders and faster defenders, my speed's not going to work. So I have to be a bit more intelligent on how I use the ball, manipulate, maybe a 1-2 and get in behind. Maybe sometimes I'm going to have to do that. Or sometimes I have to wait for the overlap, give him, and we get the goal from it. Still effective in that moment. Stood out because you made the intelligent decision, which is like, I know he's ready to go. If I go inside, you're going to go with me. I'll wait for the fullback. He's overlapped, square that over to him. He squares it, tap in. We're all celebrating. Now the fullback's going, okay, right. So if I stand him up here, he's going to give the ball there. If he cuts in, I'm going to have to, but if I go, and now you're finding yourself in a position now where you're going to be indecisive. You might lunge in, get a yellow card. It's going to be intriguing to see what he does.
Yeah, but equally, because I think the other point that was made in the chat, and it was like we shouldn't, put too much expectation on him. But I suppose my counter is to that. If Liverpool go into next season and all our hope is pinned on Rio and Kamoa, right? That's wrong. We as a club have done something wrong, right? But and if he doesn't perform, and the narrative shifts and the fans get frustrated, then that's equally wrong because he's a young player, right? That's not going to happen, right? There's a difference between blaming somebody and piling pressure on them and then just setting high expectations. I want us to stop, for want of a better way, just pussyfooting around these players, right? He's a fucking star. He's a talent. He is going to the very top. That is based on what he's shown us at such a young age that people have that thought about him. Let's not be afraid in saying that then. Let's not be afraid in saying our expectation for Rio is probably the same one in which he puts on himself, right? Is that he wants to be the best winger in the league.
He said he wants to win the Ballon d'Or, for God's sake. So
there you go. So that's the expectation. Now, all we need to do is be patient and fully supportive of that. We're not going to use that expectation to batter you. We're going to use it to fucking push you as much as we possibly can to get you there. I don't understand why we as fans are so afraid to look at these guys and go, oh, let's not put too much pressure on them. Let's not worry about them. They're young. They're young footballers, man. We'd all change places with them. Like, we're here to support and we're here to encourage that. Let's not avoid the expectation and conversation. When Pedri was bursting through and playing fucking 90-odd games a season, expectation was high. He took it on his shoulders and became a good player. Same with Gavi. Fucking Lamine Yamal's the fucking perfect example of that. He's a young player, and I'm sure at 16 they're already like, oh, let's not put too much pressure on him. He probably wants the pressure. He probably wants to go, do you know what? I want pressure. I want you to push me. I want everybody, when they talk about me at this age, to set that expectation upon me, because I want to be the star. I want to be the Ballon d'Or winner. I want to be that. And you need the energy to go in that direction with you. It's only unfair if you start then criticizing the player. We ain't got to criticize him. There's a difference between criticizing and blaming than just setting expectation and supporting. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with that.
But that's what you're saying. And big up to LA saying you're already putting pressure on him. And obviously Joseph is asking unfair. Is it unfair? I think if Cav said, right? So that's what I'm trying to understand. If Cav said Rio next season must get this and this, that is unfair pressure. Because he's still young, still inexperienced. We have to wait and see how he fits in with the new system of the manager. What he's saying is an expectation based around the kid's ability and what he's shown so far. And it wouldn't surprise me if he went on to become one of the best wingers in the Premier League next season. That's not adding pressure. That's just looking at what the expectation the kid set, how he's performed over the last year or so in terms of his development, and going, if he can execute that, I think he can be this. That's not adding pressure on him. That's just going along with what the player already thinks he is and what I think he could become. But if we turn around and say,
the minute he turns around and changes what he said he wants to win the Ballon d'Or. The minute he turns around and says, I don't want that anymore. I'm taking it step by step and staying. Cool, no problem. But he said he wants to be the best in the world. I think he can be the best in the world. So therefore, expectation is set from both sides. Now it's just a case of supporting. If you're not it next season, cool, you're young. We give you that grace, we give you that patience, we see. But the aim is still to get you to a position and support you in whatever way we can to get to what you said you wanted. And by the way, what he wants is what we all want. We want him to be the best player in the world and play for Liverpool. So people are too afraid now, like to like set expectations and like put a bit of pressure on. Like, he is going to be well supported. He's at the right place at Liverpool. He's got a good coach. He's going to have good people around him. Seems like from what we can hear and see, he's got a good family as well. He's going to be well supported, and we should never put more pressure on than what he wants. But whilst he wants to be the best player in the world, whilst he wants that energy and the talk around Rio to be, God, he's a star, he's the best, he'd put him on the pedestal, cool, no problem about it. You know, that's if he starts crumbling, we retrieve a little bit, you know, and we change the narrative a little bit, whatever it is. But it's just aligning our expectations with what he wants and then supporting him. And I'm not afraid, like, yeah, he's young. Why is it seen as a negative thing? I don't understand. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I took on a business of at the age of 33, and all my peers and people that own businesses around me are 50, 60. No one turned around to me and said, too much pressure on him at that age to run a business at that side. Nah, give it to me. Let me show you. I think I'm special. Let me show you that I can do this.
Let me show you what I'm about.
It's hard. It's pressure. Of course it's going to be. But you want to achieve anything exceptional in life, you're going to have to ride through that. I want Rio to be exceptional. I think Rio wants to be exceptional. Well, then it comes with pressure, and it's just about how you overcome that, you know. And like I say, all we do is support him from here on in. We start talking about Rio and saying, let's see how he figures it out, let's see how he gets on, and this and that and this and that. Cool, you take that lax attitude with him, he'll end up being mediocre then.
Yeah.
Elite players become elite, because of their mental and what they want, but equally the people around them, the people they surround themselves with,
believe in them, believe in what they, and that's what we're doing. We're believing in what we think he is and what he's shown us, and fully going, you know what, we're behind you, mate. So if you even if you have a bad season, even if he has a bad season, it's not down to us. It's just down to circumstances and maybe the season and how he played, and maybe how his development, or maybe the signings might hinder that as well. If we go and sign a Barcola and whatever, that doesn't mean that the expectation, he set himself, that all of a sudden we should just go back on it. No. We're going to be like, see, told you, add pressure. At the end of the day, Rio don't care about what we think like that. He don't give a damn. It's about what he thinks and what he thinks he can go and achieve at Liverpool Football Club. And like, he's got the right people around him, I know that, and he's got the right coaches around him as well, and they're going to help him develop into a top level player. And that's why everyone's like talking about him, because you can clearly see he's going to be exceptional. Will he have time? Of course he will have time to develop into the player he wants to become. But at the same time, as I said, if you adding adding unnecessary pressure on him would be if I'm setting a standards. If I go, oh, Real, now you must by the end of the season get 15 goals. That's unnecessary pressure. Like, is he going to get 15 goals? It's unrealistic. All the wingers in the league don't get 15 goals. All of them last season went. Who got 15 goals apart from maybe Salah, and he's just exceptional in terms of what he does. But if we're saying is like, yo, we see the ability, go and thrive, go and show what you're about. And like what we was discussing earlier, and we're saying, look, it will be, when Cal was here, I don't know if he's still in the chat, the Arsenal fan, it was like, it won't be like, oh, he's going to go into every game and score and then we're going to judge him by the numbers. It will be games where he's just effective and he might not get the goal, but because of his right decisions, we might get the win because of it. And then it might be the odd game where he picks up a goal, but his performance overall and just being effective within the squad and within the team, that's where he'll kick on. And that's where people take notice. And that's where England will be like, yo, we might as well bring him into the fold now because he's showing consistency. And that's not unfair. That's just going along with what the players already set himself and what the club thinks. Clearly, they think that because they not only fought Chelsea for him, but we've laid the pathway, and we're talking about not signing players in his position. And proved it last season because clearly we should have signed some wingers. And we said, nah, Gakpo and Real is going to be the ones out there fighting for that position. So going into this season, he's probably thinking, I've got a Premier League season under my belt. I want more now. I've had a taste of England playing international football and got my first cap. I want more now. So all I'm saying is, you want more, I want more for you as well. So you go and prove the world, and we'll be right behind you as well. Will you have ups and downs in the season? 100%. You're not going to have a flawless season. You're going to be frustrating at times. You're going to make the wrong decisions. But at the end of the day, doesn't mean that you've now gone, I don't want to be the best. As fans, if we set as I said, if we go and set, he must get 15, 20 goals and you got to get 10 assists at least, that's unnecessary pressure because most wingers are not doing that. Most wingers don't do that in the league. Most wingers don't get 10 assists. Most of them don't even get over 10 goals. Salah was just the craziest guy that was out there just doing like madness, bro, getting 40 and 30s and 20s every season. It's like, bro, not every winger is doing that. But with the other wingers, and what we were saying as a club is, we're watching all the other teams having effective wingers, beating their fullback, getting the ball in the box. And we're like, they're beating us by doing that. Their wingers ain't better than a Salah, and their wingers ain't better than even a Cody to an extent, but they're very effective in terms of what they're doing. And now we're like, oh, no, give us those wingers. And Rio's one of them wingers. Beat your fullbacks, got speed, intelligent player, young. So he's going to have that energy. And now it's about development. But that don't mean that we just take the foot off the gas on you and go, nah, take your time, my kid, take your time. Kabasi's at the World Cup at 19, played in a Barcelona team from 16, Pedri, Gavi. And that's not to compare him to those players, but that's just to compare that age sometimes don't really matter. When you've got it, you've got it. And all we have to do is nurture it and put it in the right environment. And he's in the right environment. You know what I mean? He's in there. Foden was in the fold from a young age as well and showing the world what he was about. Gerrard came in at a young age and showed what he was about. And obviously he developed and he got to about 22, 23, and then he started kicking on from there. But players come in young and show. The Ryan, what we want right now is a teenager that people are saying we should go and get, and he's the guy. Diamande we're clamoring for as a 19-year-old, and we're like, after one season, Ryan after 6 months of good football. So it's not in the crazy realm of thinking that, you know what I mean? Michael Owen as well. Do you know what I mean? There's players that's come in at a young age and shown like, age is sometimes just a number. Not to every player, but to some players.
We've seen it both ways, don't we? I think if you ask every player that stands up there having won the Ballon d'Or, you say, did you get here without any pressure? What do you think the answer is going to be? They've all got pressure. There's all expectation on some of them because of how good they are. Being good at something comes with either don't fulfill your potential or aim high and think that you're good enough. And that is alongside going to come with expectations and pressure. It's part and parcel. It's not just football. That's everything, right? If you're going to be good at something, it's going to come with judgment and expectation, right? It is what it is. I think just a few points to address in the chat, though, because I think they're good points. The last season for me, throwing Rio on to save games, that was unfair. That was unfair. And I don't want us to do that next season. That for me was where you are throwing a player on an age where he's not experienced that, and it's coming into an environment where people are already frustrated. People are already, you can't really, there's no middle ground. You come on and you get the goal and you save the game. Everybody loves you. Come on and do nothing. Fans are going to be frustrated because they're just not winning games and stuff. That was an unfair environment to bring him into. We certainly shouldn't be doing that. That's true. Should he start every game? I think we judge it. There certainly next season should not be an unfair situation where he plays because we need him to play. No, we play him because he's fit and able, and he's comfortable in playing, right? That you take his age into consideration, and there's all sports scientists obviously there that will be evaluating whether he's in the red zone and things like that. Cool. You don't do that to him. And then just as the final one, the media. Yeah, I said it. He's English. He does step overs. He's skillful. He stands out. He stands out for the way he plays. He's already getting sponsorship deals, signed a contract with Liverpool. He's already starting to take on some responsibility. You sign up for sponsorship deals and things like that. There's pressure that comes with that. You've got to perform now. He signed them deals. He'll be advised by family and his agent and stuff around all of that. He'll be supported and nurtured. But equally, he's done those things. So his name is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the pressure with it may just build as well. And what we must do better, and just, I suppose what the point we're saying is that the UK media, they can be nasty at times. They will very quickly turn on players when things aren't going well and start asking questions and having these conversations and throwing up stats that work against him, because we like to knock down our players for some reason. I don't know if it's an English thing or what, but and that's wrong. But equally, what we've got to understand is that media is also changing. If you look at all the shows you watch on Sky Sports now and TNT, they're all YouTubers. they're all people that have their own channels that are being employed to come on and speak. So if the voice are with the fans of the likes of Endz and things like that, suddenly then we can paint the narrative. We can paint the narrative of, we love this kid. We think he's great. Like, we love his personality. He seems really cool and chilled. He's a quality player. We love the way that he plays. He plays football, exciting football that we like to see. We want him to be the best in the world. We almost expect him to be the best in the world because he wants that, so we want that. And we know he's good enough. But equally, we're just here to support. And any conversation that we hear, any platform we hear where you're bashing him down, we're going to counter it and we're going to show support. Suddenly then we are doing our bit to change what UK media has done for so long with these players. That's why I'm not afraid of setting expectation and things like that on him, because I'm just like, we just then back it up with only support in whatever way we can. If that's you go into games, you chant his name. Don't be afraid to chant his name. He already gets chanted when he comes on. Everyone's singing Rio Rio. You do that. You make the kid feel like he's on top of the world. You do that. If you're speaking on channels or you're appearing on this show or any other shows or whatever it is, you speak positively of him. You speak fairly of him, and you account for the fact that he is young and he is learning and he's going to make mistakes and stuff like that. You create in whatever way you can an environment to support him, but at the same time, put, setting expectations that he probably wants to be set. He said he wants to win the Ballon d'Or. That's what he hopes. So that for me is where modern day football has to go. We know the standard of football's dropped. We have got Messi and Ronaldo, but we ain't got the prime Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar's, Dino's. You can go on. We've got fucking, Mbappe's a good player and Haaland's a good player, but we ain't got too much to get excited about, really, have we, on these players? So when the likes of somebody like Lamar comes along and Rio comes along, it's like they're the next stars. They're the next stars. But what we must do this time around is make sure that we build environments to just celebrate them and support them, as opposed to trying to bash them down all the time. And that's where when people, I think, talk about setting expectations and stuff, I think it comes from like what's gone before and looking at players like Dele Alli and stuff like this that just crumbled because of what UK media and stuff did to them. But it's like, yeah, cool, but let's change that then. Let's not change what we expect of the player. Let's change the environment to be a better one to fulfill what the player wants, because that's the bit that we can do. So I just think I just think that we should set expectations high and just be excited. Just be excited about the kid. I mean, you watch him at inside training and all the clips and stuff. He don't look like he's feeling any pressure. Are you kidding me? Like, the kid just looks calm. He's just cool, like just hanging around. I mean, it's great to see.
You know, when I can't wait till he starts saying, "Give me the ball, bro." I can't wait for that moment when he starts saying, "Give me the ball." He's like, "Nah, give me the ball. This guy's dead. Let me cook him." Yeah, this fullback is dead food. Let me go and cook him. But yeah, I think, look, it's not, as I said, I think it's unfair if you set mad expectation that you don't think. And that's what we're not saying he must become the best winger in the league. That's unfair expectation. Or you must hit these type of metrics for us to rate you. That's unfair as well. It's just about he wants to be the best. We think you can be the best based on your skill sets. Let's hope the platform is there for you, which it seems we're there. You got a good coach now as well, but now we got to see you play. Now we want to see what you can do. And if pre-season we see you just ripping apart these fullbacks and just being effective in the game, adding your goal here or there, adding an assist here or there, no expectation in terms of the end numbers, but we are just mad effective. We're going into the season going, this guy is going to cook you, man. And then you talk about the doubling up. Yeah, there will be games when they do that, but then you're hoping that the tactics and how we play means there's going to be free spaces for like an Isak and Florian Wirtz, which you don't want. Them guys having time and space to pick their head up and make the right decisions. And whoever else we got over on the right-hand side as well. You got to worry about that side of the game as well, not just on his side. You got overlapping fullbacks. That's going to give you a yard of space. And we've seen with a yard of with his quick feet, a little step over, chop, and the defender's turning his back, looking where the player's gone, and the ball's in the back of your net. So it's not adding. That's what I said. There's a difference between adding the pressure and there's just giving him the expectation that he set out for himself. But if he's gone out in the season, like, I just want to see how the season goes and all that, it'll be like, okay, cool, just whatever then, innit? See how it goes then, guy. We don't see that from you. We see you.
But we all have pressure, man. If you ain't got pressure in your life, then you ain't doing anything worthwhile, man. Wow. Get out there and start something. Do you know what I mean? It's all pressure. Pressure is one thing, right? Pressure is good. It's then just having environment where, and consideration where you then support people, whatever that support looks like. But don't take away from the pressure. You want pressure. You want to feel like you need to do something well or something right, because that thing might then be worthwhile. If you're coasting through life without pressure, either you've made it and fair play to you, or you're not really doing anything that's worthwhile. Do you know what I mean? Like, my staff hate it when I come in the office because I apply pressure.
That's pressure.
I apply pressure for you to do your jobs because we're here. There's only 30 of us in this office right now. We need to do this job because we've got expectations. Equally, they feel that pressure. Equally, I then check in with them, make sure they're all right. As the day going, do you need anything? Can I step in and help? You show the support around it, but you don't take away from the pressure. We're going to take the pressure away. We're not going to achieve anything. Set the expectation away. We're not going to achieve anything. Ultimately, I'm not about that. I like achieving things. Thank you.
Nice. It's true, man. Even the players I coach, I always say that if I didn't think you were good, I wouldn't, it would just be a waste of time, innit? I wouldn't care. But if you see me, that the energy's high and the pressure is there and the expectation's there, that's because I believe in what you are, believe in what you can become and what you are. That should tell you enough. That should give you that kick, like, right, he actually believes in me. I need to go, and that has its own pressures at the same time. But if I thought you was rubbish, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's put money in my pocket, innit? Not gonna argue that. I'll just take it. You know what I mean? But
let's just get excited, man. You lot can do all this chat, man. No, it's not too much pressure. First game of the season, we just and then it was in the back of the net. All of us are gonna get so gassed. Gonna be like, wait, don't get excited though, because we can't get too excited about the kid. All right.
Yeah, but I'm knee sliding on the carpets, bro. If he cuts in, drops the shoulder, and whips one in the top corner, trust me, I'm doing the jump in the air punch. I'm doing the Isak celebration. Yeah, saying that as well, Isak, you better be fit for that Newcastle game. And if you score, celebrate, man. I swear, if he scores like a couple of goals and he's just like, sorry, I swear it will wind me up. Because now I've got to wait for the next game, hoping you score in that one to see the celebrate. No, do it in the Newcastle game. Say it off, man.
Yeah.
Say it off.
We need to see the gun fingers again, man. We need Isak back fit, firing with attitude, man. Just hit the celly, you know. Just the celly needs to be a trademark again, man. It needs to be like
they're gonna take it off EA, aren't they? If he doesn't do it. I swear, all three of us have that celebration.
The minute they got the update,
on clubs, all of us have the same celebration. They're like, it's the same guy scoring. Nah, we just all. So none of these fuckers got their own celebration. Nah. We're all Isak, bro. We're all Isak. Nah, but I saw this, and we'll wrap up the stream with this one. I want to be in the World Cup final now. I just want to get a ring as well, Cap. I don't know. This is something about getting a ring. So the players, if you win the World Cup, you're gonna get. I mean, they said there's 30 of them set aside in it to get a ring. This is cold. I can't lie. I know it's an American thing. Obviously, you get in the NFL and NBA and stuff like that, but I don't mind this, Cap. Getting a young little. I don't know how much that ring costs, but you know what I mean. It's gonna be gold and it's gonna have some diamonds in it, I'd presume. But just to put that aside, the first team to ever, and then now I got to collect a few of them, Cav.
Little infinity stone and that.
Yeah, give me 3 of them, man. Let me put them on all my things. You know when you win the next one, you go, one, two, I got a few in there. Fill your hand out. Say, yeah, come on, talk to me, bro. I got 5 championships.
I think it's cool. It's why not?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, you can have all these players bopping around with, I won the World Cup. I got this ring on, and it tells you about me. You know, it tells you I'm the best in the world champion. Yeah, why not, man? Why not?
If Munoz walks into training with the ring on, say
Nah, he walks into training. He like looks at Verts. Oh, you lot cost 100 plus M's, isn't it? Like I cost 30, but you ain't got one of these. Yo, I'm 34 million plus the ring.
Man's a World Cup winner, at a young age. I don't mind
0 minutes, World Cup winner, decent.
But I don't think obviously it's going to be a tradition that they continue. I think it's just because it's in America. That's just something they do, right? I think. But maybe the other countries pick it up and go, do you know what? Maybe it's a good idea, you know what I mean? So you can go, collected two World Cup, because normally it's just about the medal, innit? I've got the medal. Here's my 2 World Cup medals. Here's my Olympic medal. But now you add in the ring factor to it. You're like, I don't know, it adds a little bit more to it.
Why not? Even if next World Cup it's not a ring, it's something else. Why not? You raise the trophy. You might get a replica. You'll obviously get the medal around your neck. But why not have something else that says that you can look back on as a footballer and be like, yeah, I got the ring. That was the World Cup in the States, 2026. Oh yeah, I got the whatever it is. That must have been the World Cup in such and such. Why not have something that's unique to the winners of that World Cup? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I see some of the guys in the chat. Man said the medal does the same. Big up, Trevor. Man said beans on toast says the caps are enough. Nah, man, I want the ring, man. Can I not just get a ring? Can I not just walk around with my World Cup ring on my pinky finger and go, yeah, you man are dead ballers still? Can I not walk around with that? Say I'm a world, because it's going to be hard for me to walk around with a medal around my neck everywhere I go, innit? But if I throw the ring on and we're sitting on a podcast having a conversation, you'd be like, oh, what's that? Yeah, just the World Cup one, you know what I mean? Just when you win a World Cup, you get one of these. You know what I mean? Conversational starter, man. I can't walk around. You think I'm Brewster with my medal in the barbers and that? Think I'm Brewster in that? Nah, my little ring on and I'm good to go.
I say why not, man? Why not? I mean, it ain't changing the rules of football, is it? It's just something that's handed out to the winners. What's the problem with that?
Yeah, man, we're too British sometimes, guys, man. Sometimes we can't just let it slide. Sometimes
because that's one of them ones you can subtly just get away with. I've got to take it off, man. Sorry, because the medal around your neck, you don't forget about that. That thing's fucking, hitting your chest as you're walking. Whereas, the ring has been. Oh yes, I forgot to take that off. Yeah. Won this little thing. Won this little thing last week. Forgot to take it off since then. Oh, you know, heard about it? World Cup. Oh, that thing. Yeah, won that. Me and my guys.
Said that little thing. Do you know it's crazy? Because if we had, like maybe even the Netherlands team got far in it, we could add a few dons with the rings walking around training. He's having a ring walking around. McAllister might have what? Hey, McAllister is definitely showing it off.
Oh yeah.
McAllister is definitely showing it off.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a World Cup winner in our squad.
Remember, is it Brendan Rodgers said to one of them, pointed to his belt and went, Gucci belt. we're gonna. Who did he do that to? I can't remember.
I can't remember. Yeah.
I think it might have been Endo or something like that. Just pointing to the Gucci belt. So anyway, it'd be funny if like Liverpool, Mac, can we have a little word? Now you're back. Season weren't very good. We got some suitors thinking of selling you on. It just points to the ring. What you want to say that again? Do you know what this means? Winner, bro. Yo, exactly. Back-to-back World Cup winner. You want to sell me?
Yeah, maybe I should just go. Maybe I should just go because clearly you guys don't know a good thing when you see
it. Yeah, clearly you don't respect rings.
Level goes up. Don't
respect World Cup champions, huh? Okay.
Oh man. But listen, guys, Cav, I'll ask you before we go, who wins the World Cup? Ooh, Argentina or Spain? And we will have a World Cup winner in our squad next season. So
I think Argentina will win it. I think they'll go back to back. I just honestly, in that England game, when they were singing the national anthem, I just thought, these lot are mad. These lot are wired. Honestly, they're demons. And I know Spain are very, very composed. Keep the ball. Don't concede hardly any. But I don't know. I just think that fire that the Argentinians have got. They're not a better side than Spain. I think Spain are the better side. But I just think they've got that sort of just that thing that is indescribable, really. It's just when you're a team and you're together and you're a pact and you've just got you just know that you can scrap and everybody else is scrapping with you. Yeah, I just think that's so special, and I just think that might just be what it takes. That might just be the edge to win it. And so look, so 50-50 really, but if I had to say who I think I'll probably at this point say Argentina might win it. Yeah.
Obviously, I'll go with my Spanish boys, man. That's who's gonna win it still, but we'll see. I'll be doing a watch along tomorrow, so that's gonna be very interesting, man. I'll be there to back the Spain team all the way, bro. But you're right; they have got that intangible in it where they're just together, and all it takes is for them to get the goal, and then they just want to defend properly and work for each other, and then they can create moments of magic. They did come back from 2 goals down against Egypt. They did come back against England to win it as well, to go through. So they've got that in them. I just think Spain is a different kettle of fish, man. And I think Spain's been underrated this whole tournament, even though I've tried to big them up as much as I could. But they've just been underrated. They haven't got this. They haven't got that. Lamine ain't performing. Nico is not that good. He ain't whatever. And I'm just like, well, clearly you've not been watching their games, bro. And when I said they haven't conceded, they're not conceding like that. Obviously, they conceded in the previous game. And I said, nah, they're a good team. But I did think they would have got moved to by France just because of the high line tactically and because of the speed France has. But obviously, I said that we would keep the ball. Spain would keep the ball better. And they did. And they scored their goals. And they made France look like babies out there, to be fair, man. Like they couldn't get close to their midfielders.
They did. Spain are the perfect team to deal with the likes of Argentina. They'll deal with the mental side of it and the gameplay and then the shithousery and stuff like that because they're too experienced and to deal with, to get rattled by that. And then when it comes to football quality, they'll nullify as well. So they're probably the first thing. It's just that thing. It's a bit like boxing. Spain will dodge all the jabs, but then if one lands, you're just like, Argentina are in now. They're in. Look, we've seen it against England. If there's a period of the game where Argentina need to switch up the quality and get in areas where they're starting to do some damage now, it don't take too long before they start scoring. That's the thing. So it's just if Spain can be Spain for 90 minutes, then they'll win easily. But if Argentina even just get 15 minutes of joy, 10 minutes of momentum where they just find a zone, an area of way of playing that's just effective, they're then killers in their moments. That's the thing. So,
but the other thing as well, Cav, I think some people look past is how aggressive Spain actually is when they defend. I think they just look at, they're just a decent football inside that play good football at times and they keep the ball well. And I'm like, you watch them play and they hunt you down as much as where I think the shithousery will be done by Argentina. I think the same thing will be done by the Spanish players as well. They will go down. They will try and draw fouls. They will draw you into moments and stuff. They will be aggressive in their tackling as well, and the way that, and they're not afraid to get in there with you as well. So if you want to do the whole, let's be aggressive, they'll match you there. But
true, yeah,
having the ball, we're going to be better at holding the ball and creating those overloads and those moments of danger. But you're right, you've got Messi in your team, you've got Lautaro there, which he's turned up. Alvarez in the preview, he turned up as well. So you've got players that can turn up and score goals and help you win football matches.
I mean, Enzo turned up.
Enzo turned up.
Only randomly, I asked, we were chatting, me, you and Sav, and I was like, what do you guys think of Enzo? Because it's a £100 million player. Won the World Cup already. Shows in moments how good he is, but like, I don't know. I just don't know what the conversation and narrative around Enzo, but I'm just like, it just looks like he could be amazing. And then, by coincidence, he just starts falling out of the World Cup, just turns up. Same Rodrigo de Paul in that final moments against England, just fucking some of the crosses in the box are insane, like just pinpoint. They've got some players, but I suppose it's quite a nice. You'll always make a narrative or whatever, whoever's in the final, but I suppose this one is just Messi, Lamar, like it's going to be the passing. Incredible. Yeah, what an incredible way to sort of finalize it. You've got Messi, who fucking was bathing Lamar. Lamar takes over the position at Barcelona, becomes one of the best in the world, whilst Messi's then going off, and then they meet each other in the World Cup final. It's a great story, man. It really is. Like, and both of them as well. Even Messi at 39. There's no you go into tomorrow's game thinking, Lamar's one of the best players in the world, probably the best player in the world to some people, and he's young, he's got the energy, he's just going to push the old guy out. No, not at all. Messi at 39 is still looking like insane in moments. When Messi turns it on and he starts running with the ball and he passes to his player, and already that it's a bounce pass, and then he starts picking up pockets where, Jesus Christ, it's Messi in it. Like, that's just what he does. He still turns out to be the best player on the pitch. It's just, I'm pleased in a way that this has happened when Messi's still effective and still like the main focal point of Argentina, because now it's a proper head-to-head. And it's just whoever wins, man. Whoever wins, there's just going to be a...
And for their birthday, 19 days apart as well. What kind of omen is these things, bro?
It's crazy, isn't it? Because Messi wins the World Cup. I know he said yesterday, it was like football's a game and he's completed all the levels, he's like, and then this one's just a bonus, whatever it is, isn't it? Yeah, you're right, Messi. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you have completed this game. You've completed football, and then, is the guy that we're looking at is probably being the best player in the world for the remainder of, the next decade or whatever it is. And if he wins the World Cup, we're talking Ballon d'Or soon and stuff like that. It fulfills the prophecy a little bit if that happens. So it's just crazy way that it's fallen, man. And I think it's going to be a great game. It is. I think it's going to be quality. And
I think both will score. I think, but that's it, because Lamine had to sit out the last training session because muscular little discomfort. So I'm hoping he's going to be ready. I don't know what they're going to have to do to get him ready.
It's game playing. He'll be there. He'll be there. He'll be there with his little curly highlights, man. He'll be sound.
I saw this trap and I was like, shit, I'm worried now. I don't want him to miss it, but it could be gameplay. I'm like, they wouldn't have had him sit. Bro, they had him sitting outside on a yoga mat with a strap bandage around his, and I'm like, I don't know. That seems a bit coincidental. Man.
Cameras
just sitting
go
there
up
on the
and
yoga
just rolls the yoga mat
while
up
everyone
and
else is
goes
running
back to
around training, but you're just
yeah. They're stupid.
And yeah, Levine might not be on it. You know, he might not be on it.
Yo, how gas you get
he turns up
if Munoz comes on and scores the winner?
Hey, listen, the gaffer did say, Cav. The gaffer did say he's going to be important to us. He will pop up in a moment for us where we need him. I said, okay, that's all I needed to hear, man. So if that's the final and we go draw for him and we need a goal, and he's the one that gets it. Yeah, throw him on the right wing for Liverpool. No, I'm joking. Just throw him out there. Start him on the right wing.
Comes up World Cup final, starts tripping over his own feet and that.
If he shows, you know what the Amanda showed us, and that threw us off straight away. That World Cup threw me off straight away. I was like, yo, them touches are mad. I tried to defend it a little bit. And I was like, I don't think I can defend this, bro.
I was getting some hate. I was getting some hate at the start of the
World Cup. On Twitter.
Yeah, I think, no, he's not as good as you think he is. Next game starts running the ball off the pitch and touches his first. How can his first touch run 30 yards away from him, man? I thought, yeah, I'm coming back to 12.
How much of a heavy foot you have to have for your touch? Like you can understand sometimes when you misjudge a flight in it and it bounce off is a little bit. But when it's running like 10, 15 yards away, that's no longer a bad touch. That's something else. That's something entirely different. That's got some brick for feet, bro. Just bounces off. But Cav, listen, appreciate you, man.
Stay at Leipzig now, so let him rot.
Well, it looks that way. I don't know. Let's see what happens, man. But listen, I appreciate your time, bro. Longer than what I expected us to kind of be here for, but it is what it is. We're gonna go and chill now with the family and kick back, and then when I'm back later, if the boys are about, we can play some clubs or something, and you know what I mean. I continue my scoring form.
Oh yeah, there was a scoring form. It just happened to come after a fucking dead spell as well, where he was missing everything. So
no, but I wasn't playing. Yeah, but it takes me a little bit of time to calibrate back up front, bro. You know what I mean? I haven't played there in ages.
I'm not sure.
I haven't played there in ages, so I need time to calibrate. No, it is because Chang's played up there. I played the one time.
No, yeah,
you've played there. Chang's played there. We've left that space for like the computer to play there. So you know what I mean. I needed time to calibrate back in. But once I get into the mode of like finishing,
hey, I'd say this: you're in good form. The team's in good form. We played 9 games. Was it yesterday, day before? We didn't lose one.
Yeah.
Won 7.
7 wins and 2 draws.
In form, man. Sav set his expectations out early. He said,
I don't know if it was expectation, bro.
No. You said, yo, lads, want to play any clubs? I said, yeah, I'm about. Sav, nothing else but, yo, only if we're playing properly tonight. I was okay. All right. Better sit forward.
I started looking like, didn't I not play properly last time? Was I not? I started thinking like, have I not been playing properly or something? We did though. We did.
It's all right, man. The gaffer was happy with our performances at the end of the day. So
didn't say much though. I didn't feel the love though. But obviously, we're not gonna get that, are we? We're not gonna get too much of a praise. Just be like, you done your job, innit?
Yeah. You done what?
That's
done what was expected of you.
You done well.
I hear it. He'll get. Yeah, let's see if he's around later. Continue our form. Sav might just have the energy back for this club side, man.
All right, cool. All right, then. Appreciate you, bro, as always, man. Chat. Appreciate you guys as well for sticking around. As I said, if you want to become a member, it's in the description. Links there. And if you want to join the Discord, the link is in the description as well. So you don't miss whenever the streams are on. I think that's it. I've got the watch along tomorrow. I don't know what time it. I think it's at 7:45. I've scheduled it for. Oh yeah, and England played today as well. In the third place playoff. So whether or not France and them are gonna do a rotated team, or they're gonna actually put their full 11s out and go for it and try and finish on a high. Let's see what happens, man. But I think that's at 10 o'clock. I think England's playing.
Okay, yeah, I'm not too sure. I won't be watching that. I care for third place.
Yeah, fair enough. All right then, big up, man. Peace out, everyone.